Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Super Old Game Saturday. If it's 7 p.m. on a Saturday night, we're here to play classic gaming goodness. Or any kind ofness. Now, I'm on this memory card error screen for the PlayStation 2, playing something off of that. Don't worry, that's totally normal. I'll get into that in just a second. Before I start, though, I do want to go over something a little bit that I've been thinking about with the stream we did last week. We did Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transform last week, which was a nice stream. But I wanted to also level with you on something, which was that I realized after we streamed it that I was using old sound equipment of mine. Not the nice new microphone you're hearing me on now. Not new, I've had this for a couple months. But the point is, I didn't have that up because I was going through Windows updates that day and it was finishing right when I went up and streamed. Point is, I didn't realize that. So I just wanted to admit to you that that was what was going on and there wasn't anything else to that. And apologize to that just for the purpose of it. Because I want to get decent sound quality out of this. I think we're in a space to do that with the game we're playing tonight. Because when we're playing a music game, you're probably thinking, I'm on Twitch doing a video game stream. You were playing with the devil, dancing with the devil, playing with fire like crazy to be playing a music game. Not the one we're playing tonight. We're playing Maestro for the PlayStation 2. This came out in 2002. Well, it was released by Sony in Japan, but they didn't want to release it here, so it was brought over by Eidos as part of their Fresh Games label. They also released a couple other games, of which the most famous probably was Mr. Mosquito, where you're flying around as a mosquito sucking the blood of a Japanese family. No, I'm not kidding. Hi, First, how you doing? We're on this PS2 error screen because they're saying I don't have enough space to save my replay data of Mad Maestro for PlayStation 2, which is one of 5 games in the Fresh Games label. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this. It was an initiative that Eidos had in the early 2000s for the PS2, and there was one on GameCube. That was Swingers Golf, the one on GameCube. But they had the game we're playing tonight, Mad Maestro, which is a music game I can play on Twitch because it's all classical music. So we're going to have some good times with that. There's Legaia 2 Dual Saga, which is a sequel to Legend of Legaia from the PlayStation. There's R-Type Final, which was the last game they made, or put out anyway. There's this, and then there was Mr. Mosquito, which is a game where you're flying around as a mosquito sucking the blood of a Japanese family. This game isn't quite as weird as that, but it kind of gets there. And I hope you're doing well, Versus, and the rest of your chat, to see about that. Also, it's going into what happened last week with my tech, because I didn't have this microphone equipped last week. I didn't turn it on, so I just wanted to level with you before we started the game tonight. But yeah, here we are. This is Fresh Games. This was an arm of Eidos. They wanted to, I guess, release other kind of off-kilter games in the US when Sony did not want to release this. They released it in Japan on PS2. They put it on PS3. I'm okay, by the way. Good to hear. And this is from Desert Productions, this game. I was not really able to find much information on this company of some of the stuff they made. Although I think the guy who directed, he made a game called Devil Dice on PlayStation, and also Sky Gunner, which tends to be a game on the PS2 that a lot of hardcore fans on that system love. And this is another one that I don't know necessarily if people know this game or like this game. I do, and I'm a huge one on music games anyway, but we can't play most of them because of the licensed stuff. And this one we're going to be fine with, and we're not going to have a problem with button lag, which is my concern when we were going to do this a few weeks ago. I was thinking about that. But yeah, we're going to be going okay, and we're going to be going to the symphony, as I promised with this one. This will be all classical music. We're going to get our conductor going on, playing in stereo sound, and playing on normal. And we change the difficulty any time, but for the purpose of this, we're set. We will start the game, but we're going through the tutorial to explain how this works, because this is a unique one. A lot of music games you might have played, there might have been stuff like Parappa the Rapper, maybe more modern stuff like Guitar Hero or Rock Band or stuff like that. A lot of them might have used peripherals, might have been some stuff with like rap or jazz or something. This is all classical music, and you're conducting, and you're using the DualShock 2 controller, and it's pressure-sensitive buttons. This is a unique one as far as how this plays. Yeah, from this moment on, we're going to be Tact, the conductor. We'll see him in a minute. And we have to control the tempo of our pieces, the volume, and the part. And I'll tell you, I don't know how the chat is with this. I know a lot of people in my family who love classical music. I don't know if they've ever played this game or seen me play this game, but this is going to be feasibly for them, and it's one that I think might be of interest. And if you're interested in what you're seeing as we play, this is a cheap one. This is not like Mr. Mosquito, which is a $150 game. This one is like $10. It's pretty affordable, and if you were looking for something on the PS2, maybe you didn't play before, and you think, well, hey, I like music games, I like something unique, I like strange stuff, and there's some strange things we're going to get in with this one. This might be up your alley. But anyway, they're going to explain right here. Yeah, we have the PS2 controller. Every face button is a baton button, and you press in on it, and depending on how hard you press, you basically control the volume of the piece as far as telling your bandmates how to play. And we're going to go through this just to emphasize this. Say, press whatever button you want. I'm going to use X, except in one case, which we'll get into a bit later. And you have part buttons. Press the D-pad. There's going to be little arrows that are going to come up, and they'll show the interface of this in a second. You point the D-pad in that direction, press the button when it comes over, and you basically change where the conducting is going to go. Otherwise, you're going to get a sour note. Yeah, this is what we're going to be seeing most of this game. These 4 dots, or sometimes 3 dots, because it does follow some rules of music, as far as, like, 4/4 tempo, 3/4 tempo, anything like that. And you have that little ball going around there in that little square, which will be larger or smaller depending upon how fast the piece goes. And you can also kind of adjust it based on how you play. So it's like, hey, you're pressing the button really fast. You can kind of have that piece go really fast. And there is like a performance mode where you don't have to worry about, you know, the judging of this. But we're going to go through the whole game. We're going to be judged for sure on this. And we're going to see how this goes. Yeah, we have 4 beats. We have 4 cue points. 3 for 1 with 3. And basically press the button, whichever one you pick, in that section. You're seeing the color on those. That's green. There's also blue and red, and based upon how hard or soft you press the button on the PS2 controller, it'll play it a bit, or will play it at that volume. Yeah, there you have that little mark telling you everything's good. And if you get 2 circles on it, you got perfect timing. If you go too fast, it'll give you the X's. If you're going too slow, it'll tell you that. And if you miss, you're going to have a problem too. But as you go along, you get good rankings by getting at least 1 circle across each of the notes in the beat of each song, or any X's will go bad. And you have that tension meter over there on the left. If you want to get that high to, you know, get everything good, and if you get down below, you're going to be in trouble. As they're going to be stating, I should say. And then when you get it really high, you enter Angel Mode, which fills the bar entirely. And you're going to also want to pay attention to the graphics as far as the environments and where we're going to go. Because that can make things kind of go nuts. In the same way we kind of saw with Samba de Amigo in Sonic and All-Stars Transform last week with the town, you know, jumping all over the place. You'll literally have that. Or you'll have the other way, which is... We'll see when they get to it. Yeah, Angel Mode is you're performing well, but when you go badly, you get the little bat devil thing there, and your bar goes down purple, and it goes down really quick, and then everything in the world will go, you know, haywire, so you want to avoid that. And then the pressure meter's over here. This will tell you how hard you're pressing the button. And one thing we are going to want to do before we start this is I'm going to go into the options menu. I'm going to set the button very specifically as far as how hard you recognize it. Because again, it's using the pressure-sensitive button, but if you don't like how it's going normally, you're going to want to play around with that, and we will. Let's see, what else do we have here? Alright, they're giving us another piece, which actually was one I was practicing when I was doing this a little earlier today. Again, it changes size as far as that box as the piece gets slower or faster based upon it. So it will follow how the piece actually would go if you're actually going to go to the orchestra or the symphony, which feasibly at this point we'll probably be able to get to go to the symphony if you want to soon enough. I mean, I'm not necessarily one for it, despite everything I'm saying here. That was more my brother's thing, and it still is. But at the same time, there's something to be said about that idea of the history of, like, where music came from. Because, like, you go back into centuries ago, and you have all these artists like Beethoven, Mozart, Bach, Tchaikovsky, so on and so forth. And they're going to be covering a lot of songs of theirs within this game. Okay, there's the color thing, which is basically when you see the red, you want to hit that X button, in my case, as hard as you can. The green means you want to hit it about middle way, and you want to slightly tap it for the blue. And they'll keep going with that. Keep an eye on the color. It's going to change. That's the thing about this game that gets a little more difficult. And there's also a mode... Okay, there's 2 modes. There's going to be Medley Mode, which we'll see later, and there's also an extra mode where they don't give you what the colors are. They just give you an empty circle. And you have to know actually how the piece plays, know when it gets louder and when it gets quieter. Yeah, you have the weak cues on blue, the green ones in the medium, and you're going really loud when you press the button down on the reds. And they also flash color wrong, say like, hey, this is the color you're supposed to hit. Of course, perform with feeling. I mean, that's the idea. This is like any aspect of music, no matter whether you play, whether you listen, whatever it is, the idea is like, it's the feeling that counts, and you can't teach that. Play us a song, you're the piano man. Ah, the Billy Joel elements. We're gonna get a lot of music elements going. I will play us a song. I wish I could show games that have that, of which actually the only one that has it is, that I'm aware of, is Rock Band 3 and 4, but yeah, the licensed music case. But yeah, Twitch is not gonna complain about us playing this classical music from 200, 300 years ago. What's gonna happen? Is the estate of Cezanne and Tchaikovsky gonna come down? It's like, hey, look at this asshole who won't shut up, going on Twitch saying, oh, we're taking his music away, we're gonna ban this guy. My mom loves it. Alright, there you go. And I guess that's going to be an interesting case, but yeah, hit me with anything you got as far as music on. We'll talk about music as far as that, music games, other music games you like, other ones we could feasibly show on this channel, of what I'm thinking, I guess we could sort of show the Parappa the Rapper games. I gotta figure some stuff out as far as the timing. I'll probably running it through the PS2, because you're running that through the PS3, it's kind of off to that. Certain songs out of Taiko Drum Master I've mentioned. There's some games, like, hey, there's not licensed stuff. Sonic Amigo I mentioned. There's, like, Sega stuff you can play on that isn't licensed, so feasibly, we're gonna dance around that. We're gonna make this work, damn it. I mean, I love music games. I mean, if this is maybe giving me any indication, it's me saying, like, yeah, I love this kind of thing, and I'll mention them every so often. I have when I went back. Love the Guitar Hero games. Yeah, me too, and Rock Band was the other one. I mean, they're still going strong with Rock Band in particular. I mean, Guitar Hero not as much, but I always liked the idea, even when Guitar Hero Live came out a couple years ago, when, like, hey, they're trying something a little different with it, even using full motion video, which is going to be a fitting thing with this game, because we're going to get some of that. But, yeah, the other thing also going on, just to go back to the tutorial briefly, that arrow on there. When you see that, you want to press the D-pad in the direction that is pointing and hit the button at the tone or the pitch that they tell you to. Otherwise, it's going to go weird. Yeah, you're going to get the sour note. I'm just going to be quiet on that just to make sure you're playing it. And the thing is about this, just to give an idea, is that this sounds orchestrated as far as the music. It is MIDI-based, but it sounds still really good. And they do that, I think, because this came out about 20 years ago in Japan, 20 or 19 in the US. So you can basically adjust the music around as far as that. And I do like that. And I'd love to see this concept come back, or maybe I'd like to see Sony say, yeah, we're not apparently ashamed of this franchise, because there are other games in this series in Japan. They're like 2 spin-offs, or like expansion packs. There was a Christmas one. There's another one called Shomaikyo Kuban, I believe. And there was also a sequel called Let's Bravo Music. It never came out here. I might be able to show off the Let's Bravo Music, because A, it's cheap, and B, my girlfriend is a Japanese PlayStation 2. I might ask her, like, hey, can we use yours to play this? I think she'd be down with that. I think she also would like to be down with this, because we have a lot of classic music. She's a big one on that, and video game music, and some of the weird stuff I put her in front of, to go like progressive rock and new wave. But anyway, the other thing is you see the stars there. When you see those, you have to press the button down and hold it a bit. So you're hearing the part of Beethoven's Fifth Symphony of do-do-do-do, and you have to hold down the X button in my case at that. You hold it long enough, and then let go, because otherwise then your group or your other players in the symphony are going to say, like, what are you doing holding down this long, and your points are going to go down. Yeah, your tension meter will go down in particular. But with that, I think we are good, and get the most out of setting the volume high. I'll admit this. I don't set the volume high on the television here because there is a little bit of a bleed over on that to the mic, and I want to avoid that as much as I can. I mean, maybe because I'm closer to the television, I'm trying to avoid that, but maybe I'll set it back at one point. Actually, the stuff we do in June is going to be that case, so stay tuned for that stuff. But I guess for you, it's like I am mixing the audio well enough so that even while we're hearing the music playing, even if I'm going to talk during it, you should still hear how it is. If you don't, let me know. I will adjust the settings on my capture device. And use headphones, although I guess on the PlayStation 2, you'd be what? Putting headphones in the television. See, it's funny, I'm thinking this is a DS game, because they always are telling you, put headphones if you're played, speaking of Guitar Hero, the on-tour games on the DS, they always say, put headphones in. The Rock Bands on the DS, which kind of go like Amplitude, or even Elite Beat Agents, another one like that. Let's play this. Hope you have a lot of fun playing. I'll have fun playing. Hopefully you'll have fun watching and seeing what this is in this opening FMV cutscene. That's Tact, by the way. He is the composer, or the conductor, of the Youth Symphony Orchestra, the Bravos is it called, and there's this symphony hall that's going to be torn down. I guess this town does not, either they don't like music that the town from Footloose, feasibly, or they're not in tune with it, so that distress is causing the fairy of the symphony hall, and this is a weird one, definitely, you're going to see this, not Miss Mosquito weird, but definitely getting there, named Symphony to fly around and say, like, well, we need to do something about that. And so here's a couple here. We got Darwin and Hanny. We're going to see them in the first level. We got this, not CNN news reporter guy named Antonio, who is like, what's that fairy deal? And his loyal camera crew over there. We're also going to go with a fashion show with Mr. Paul Neostyle, or Jean-Paul Neostyle, and Nikki Domino, who's his head model. But yeah, she's a little bit of a prima donna, so we got to take care of that. And we go to the circus with Lionel Hart the Lion and Lunar the Space Clown. Yeah, this is a strange game, but I do like the style of it, although I will say the voice acting is not very good. They did translate this. It's not like a Working Designs joint where it's like they do a great job with the translations on some of those things, the voices. This one, not so much, but I'll say the game is fun enough that I'm not going to necessarily mind it, but I'll say this, it's not like Star Fox 64, it's not like Castlevania Symphony of the Night, where it's overwrought and, you know, cheesy but good. This is like, it's kind of, honestly. Particularly from Symphony. I mean, they tried, for sure, but I mean, you're not buying this game, honestly, for the voice acting, really. You're buying it for the music quality, which is definitely there, and also for the gameplay. And the music quality is there, despite the fact this is on a CD. Nights, it's like Nights. I kind of had a sense you were going to say that, or somebody was going to say that, because I played this a couple days ago just to check it, and I was like, yeah, there definitely is a style of that. I'm pretty sure they're paying attention to that, for some degree. I would think. Actually, let's see. Okay, yeah, she's going to start talking now.
You're Tak the conductor, right? I'm Symphony. Nice to meet you. Actually, I came here to ask something of you, Tak.
Yeah, getting the Knights parallel in terms of this character was like, yeah, not the voice quality Knights had. Hell, even not the voice quality that the Journey to Dreams game had.
It's been a symbol of this town for a long time. Music is a part of life here.
Well, there you go. So we gotta take care of the town and save the music hall, or the concert hall.
Vanish from people's lives. That's why I'd like you to help save the concert hall by having your orchestra perform there.
So we're basically taking a page of the Muppets and pretty much saying, yeah, how do we solve the problems that are in the world? Let's put on a show. But, hey, it's going to work feasibly. And we'll see how that goes.
You don't think you can do it? You're afraid? You don't have enough people? Well, let me borrow your musical powers and we'll see if we can find some people. This town loves music. There are a lot of people here that are sure to join us.
Yeah, we just got to give them a little bit of cajoling for them to join us. Or maybe they don't know, because like we're going to see that as the theme here, like people who don't know whether they like music or not, or how much in tune it is. And I was saying, well, we'll go back to one thing before we start the first level. They got the music styling and, you know, the quality of it on here, despite the fact that, and tell me, chat, if you're familiar with this as far as PlayStation 2 is concerned, this is one of the few games on the PS2 I'm aware of that does not run or is not printed on a DVD. Now, it is a DVD system as far as what it takes on the discs. There's some games on the PS2 that were printed onto CD-ROMs because, A, they figured it would be cheaper, and B, they could fit the whole game onto it. This is one of them, actually. I think I got a couple other ones like that, including Frequency, which was by Harmonix, one of the first games they made. Another music game that, again, got everything in. But, alright, so according to Symphony, music's going to go away if we don't do something. So, yeah, that's literally going to be the lifeblood of everything. So, here we go. We got our options. We got extra fun. We'll go into that later. That's going to be for some of the mini-games. Because you run the mini-games, you run the medley mode, and we got the concert stuff. First thing we're going to do, though, I'm going into settings. They set the evaluation volume. Basically, they'll say, like, wow, if you, do everything right, or if you don't do really well. So, we'll set that just to normal on 3 with stereo sound. Yeah, the point element. Here's the deal. You can adjust how the buttons are going to go based on how hard you press it. And so the way I want to do this, I made sure to go into my old save file. And if I run into trouble or something, or if we get near the end of the game, like I want to show some certain things off quicker, I'm going to load up my old save file for this one. I'm starting new for the purpose of the showcase, but I'm going to go into that and show that way. But I went into that one earlier just to make sure, like, okay, what am I setting it as far as how hard am I going to have to hit that X button in order to hit the red area, how softly to hit the other one. So you can do a check as well, so let's try this. Alright, so I'm hitting it very soft. So that's the weak press. Medium's a little more. I can just pretty much press it a little. And then for strong, just hammer on that damn thing. And I do like the design of that as far as the fact they're using the pressure-sensitive buttons in a pretty unique way as far as how the PS2 is concerned. I know some games that have done it actually a lot. I know the God of War games do it. I know some of the Grand Theft Auto games do it. The Gran Turismo games do it a lot as well. But I can't really think of a music game that's done this, even something like some of the other ones. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Put me in the show, put me in the show. If you get the reference high five, I think I do. I'm trying, but I'm lost on it right now. I know I'm going to look back and I'm going to put something, I'm going to edit on the video probably when it goes to YouTube site. Like, shit, why didn't I remember this? But, alright, so at least I guess this is looking interesting feasibly. I think it is pretty interesting. If you like music or music games or classical elements, I think this is one worth digging out to find for PS2. And it was on PS3 in Japan, weirdly enough. You can download it on the PSN over there. Not here, though, and I don't get it. Oh, the Brack Show. Okay, I have seen parts of the Brack Show, so I do remember parts of it, but not completely. Okay, in my case of the Brack Show, I particularly was one about the song about the mashed potatoes, and of course, how I'm driving down Highway 40 in my big old pickup truck. I remember there was a time I was actually visiting Knoxville, Tennessee, actually, which is where I bought a copy of Fatal Frame, which I put up on the YouTube site. And I was saying I'm driving down Highway 40 in my big old pickup truck, and it was a very fun time. But anyway, we're gonna get the story started, and we saw Darlin and Hanny.
Looks like Darling's really late.
But Darlin is a little bit of a, ne'er-do-well of sorts. He certainly is a fashionable dresser, but Hanny is like, yeah, I'm not gonna give him the time of day, even though we're dating, because, like, yeah, he missed the meeting of what we're going to. And actually, we're gonna see that in the cutscene. As far as how it's gonna go. And of course, we're gonna have to, take care of this, dating strife for them with the power of music. But it's as cheesy as that sounds, it still is pretty interesting. But he means well, He's kind of vain in some ways. You can see this in the cutscene, and they're definitely pulling knights. You're right, absolutely. Like the styling, the cartoony element. Gets the idea of how let's see, well built, I guess, or well. I'm trying to think of, like, the lyric in particular to pull out of a Brick House by the Commodores to emphasize that. But, yeah, he's a lucky guy with her, but, yeah, he got there late, and she's mad. But, yeah, here comes Tact, who never speaks, by the way. He's a totally silent protagonist. And, yeah, we're gonna pull out the big guns. We're gonna pull out our youth orchestra. We're gonna like them a lot. We pull out some music. We're gonna be pulling out the Hungarian Dance Number 6 in D major by Johannes Brahms. On this level, will the couple do a pas de deux? They were getting a little high class, but as I said, it's a high class show, I guess, with this classical music game that still references the Brack Show and Billy Joel. So there you go. You're not gonna see another stream on Twitch or anywhere that's like this. But all right, so there they are. We're in the town by the water fountain, and we gotta help them out. So let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically, just keep hitting the button at the time, at the pitch, and the, the pressure sensitivity that you need to. Yeah, and try not to get in the bad zone, and also be aware of when it gets quieter, and also when it speeds up, when those little circles get a little closer. Okay, we have the Cymbal Girl, who's always one of my favorites as far as the fact that, yeah, they cut, and they do the camera cuts the same way with other music games, like to the specific points of the song, when they'll emphasize the specific instruments, which is really nice. I do love that. I have everything there. I got the xylophone, I got the drums, I got the tuba, I got everything set to go, and basically just tell them, let's go. And I always like this concept. There was a game, I don't know if it was connected to this one, I think it was in Japan as well, where they had an element of, they actually give you like a peripheral for, I guess, conducting, like a baton for that you could use to do it, almost like the Wii remote. And I think Wii Music on the Wii was going to have something like that, or maybe it does have something like that, but it didn't necessarily get, implemented particularly well, which is too bad, because I always loved that concept of the idea of something different as far as a music game. And I guess, like, a company that does that a lot is, like, Harmonix, as I mentioned. Of which, I think of stuff of theirs, I could feasibly show off elements of Fantasia Music Evolved, sort of, but I have to pick very specific songs out of that to show. I think I'd have to pick the classical stuff. But yeah, she's giving me the walk, and I gotta, keep her going and keep my stuff set as well. Get a little lighter here, and there we go. But she definitely has some good moves, giving me the, Carmen aspect going on, and that's a reference that's gonna be not lost necessarily. Also, I am not necessarily doing as well on this as I was expecting, but that is a good thing, because at that part of the song there, you'll sometimes see, if you're doing really well, you see the triangle button appear on the little indicators, which will indicate if you hit all those sections with the triangle button, you enter the Medley Mode, which gives you another piece of music. It doesn't transition into it. But since we're going to do those things for the Medley Mode later, it's kind of perfect that we did it this way. We'll just keep going through this. It's good stuff. There we go. We're in good shape again, and now the town is getting much brighter. And there we go, we got the drums going, and I love how they do syncopate that perfectly to everything going on, so that's really nice too. I think we're coming up on the big crescendo, and we're in, I guess, angel mode, so we should be set. Come on, here we go, big finish. There we go. And they get the bravo for the bravos, indeed. And we have helped Darlin and Hanny out. And with a nice pirouette and a nice bouquet of flowers. There you go. She sees the decays, and again with the power music, we're all set. And they do rank you, I got a C. You can get up to, I think, A in particular, and they do rank you based upon the section you got with a Bravo, which are the perfect with the 2 circles, good, which is at least 1 circle on everything, bad, which is any miss, and bad, which is many misses. And you can perform these in free play, and we'll see free play a little later. Also, I don't know if you're hearing this, I do have my PS2 up on the counter of where I'm playing, so you might be hearing some of the disc elements going on. Not like when we do Dreamcast stuff, like we heard last week with the Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transform, but that'll be an element. And every time you beat a level, you go back to your room, and then go to the next stage.
Look, there's an old circus just outside of town. The show's about to start. The star's a really famous acrobat called Luna the Clown. But today, she looks really nervous. Let's help her out with your musical powers.
Let's do that,
Ready?
in fact.
Let's go.
Yeah, and definitely the Knights element. I was thinking that just watching the cutscenes as they were, but even the idea of, like, Symphony with the purple on her, and even, like, the idea of how Lunar is looking, it definitely is, I think they're pulling from that, but I do like that idea, and people were saying this when Balan Wonderworld came out recently, which is the idea of kind of looking at these, in a weird way, psychological elements of characters in games, and doing it in a very minimalistic way, because they're not really speaking in the cutscenes. I mean, they're saying, like, little utterances, things like, huh? Or things like that, but they're not necessarily, you know, speaking it out, so you're kind of, it's a little more, you know, you kind of have to read into it a bit more, but I do like that, especially when it's done well. I mean, this is not a Knights level thing, I'll say, as far as how it does that, but it is interesting to see that. And there's Lionel Hart, but the lion guy, we'll see him later, and there's Lunar, but we don't have much of an audience. So, we gotta fix that. Yeah, but talk to the rescue once again. I guess it is fitting for a circus, because I guess the idea is, like, well, usually if you went to the circus, either growing up or when the few times they have it, you know, they'll play kind of like classical elements. We got the Slavic Dance number 7 by Antonin Dvorak. And this is definitely an interesting one. It's funny with the music, I'll say this before we start this one. They do pick, I guess what sometimes people would say, like, the usual suspects of classical. Reminds me of Tim Burton. Good evening, Montag UK. How you doing? Glad to see you. We're playing Mad Maestro on PlayStation 2. There is a Burton element, and actually, you know, you're right, actually, because this came out a year before Big Fish came out, which was Burton's film around that time, which was taking place at a circus. Good, thank you. Okay, great. I'm glad you're doing well, and thank you for stopping by. This is a music game we're playing that I'm not going to run into copyright strike elements, because we're playing Dvorak on this. What, is the estate of them going to come out and say, you know, ban this guy? No, not happening. So, at the very least, I figured, well, we'll show it that way, get the love of music and music game. We're going that in the chat, and thank you very much for stopping by again. And we'll have that going, but also showcase a game that, if you're a PlayStation 2 owner, is one that I don't get people talking about a lot. And I think that's the point of the show. And I've had people in the chat tell me, hey, I want to see certain games that I don't feel represented, and I'll show it for them, absolutely. I got like a stack of stuff we're going to be doing at some point. In fact, I think I want to do a whole, you know, viewer request month of stuff like that. And in that case, like, I want to do that myself. Dvorak should be in public domain by now. Yes, absolutely. And that was what I'm talking about for this. This one looks cool, and it is pretty cool. It is weird in some ways, but there is unique elements, especially when you get into conducting, pressing those PS2 suppressor-sensitive buttons. And it's a little light as far as how it's sounding, but that will pick up as we try and help Lunar the Clown do her magic act, or her circus act well, and get the Bravo elements going. It is good stuff, and they do pick, I guess, some of the usual suspects of classical music. They're not going super, super deep. I have family members in particular that might have that element to them, and I love them for it, and I love that too, because I always pull out, like, obscure stuff with some of the music I like to listen to as well, which I think goes to that love of, like, what music is just as a concept, just on its, you know, elements. And in this game, I think what this game does well with it does pull out stuff that you don't always expect for the situations, but they also have some unique things to it. Like, even the familiar stuff, like, hey, it's unique the way they pull it out, and I do like that. And so far, doing pretty well with this at half level, but I gotta be a little careful. This is one that is a little difficult in some ways because it's always the light button presses. But in my case, I just do love when you get to the point, like, yeah, you got Symbol Girl right there. I'm trying to remember the name of her. I do think they have names for all these characters except Tact, which is the conductor guy. But when you get those, you know, hard parts, like, yeah, I'll just be hitting that X button in this case, you know, very rapid, or very hard to make sure that's set. Looks difficult? It can be. This is a game that gave me a lot of trouble when I first played it. And I was like, yeah, you want to set the settings on the pressure-sensitive buttons well, and I'm not doing a great job because, yeah... we have a brawl going on backstage. I don't think I've ever seen that before. But I gotta keep it going, you know, to face that out. Yeah, she just slams herself into the ground. But we're gonna help her out. Actually, I don't think I've ever seen this before, as far as her crying, but that's the benefit of doing a game like this for a stream, because then you can show elements that you never thought, oh my god, yes, indeed, but she'll be fine, don't worry. I mean, not only will we help her, you know, get her show going, we're also going to help with her hospital bills, allegedly, I guess. Alright, I missed the arrow thing there, but as long as I can get to about half for the song, we should be good. Although this should be fine, because we're not doing... Okay, there we go, now we made the landing. But then again, what's the thing about when you fail at something in a public setting? People love it when, you know, you get the big thing coming out, and yeah, she's doing a costume change, so now everybody's getting into it a little more. And this is the big part of her act, where she's basically going to be doing the human cannonball and the trapeze elements. There we go. And in fact, they are saying, wow! So yeah, good catch on that one. And there we go, now everything's going well, now everything is popping up. Except now it's slowing down, see, and you have to adjust to that. That's where the difficulty comes, and it's like, slow, fast, but yeah, we'll see how this went. Okay, yeah, it didn't go, not great, unfortunately. Yeah, because I think what you have to do is you have to have it into a higher level. This is fine for the purpose of showing it, but yeah, we sort of had an audience, and then we didn't, and now she's embarrassed, so we gotta do this again. If we run into trouble with this too much, I might go into some of the other things, but thank you for the encouragement at least. But at the very least, I'm glad I showed that off, just for the purpose of showing how it can go, so let's do this for real. I just have to pay attention to the tempo changes. There are a lot of tempo changes on this one, in all honesty. And also being able to hit those button presses. And in some ways, me talking over this game was like, well, but then again, I'm doing a stream, I have to do that, to a certain extent. But there we go. Now I'm getting those bravos, generally speaking. We should be in better shape. Honestly, when it gets bombastic like that, that's where I tend to be best at this one. And there we go, the direction change. There's actually more direction changes on this, and there actually is a pretty good, I guess, difficulty curve on this game. There we go. We're Bravo Angel mode, so yeah, now it's way nicer. Alright, I'm doing way better now, so at least there's that. Wow, fantastic indeed. Yeah, especially when they do the camera cuts like that. Not just to the people on the stage, not just to the audience that's now getting into it, but even just to each of your individual band members. It's almost like Rock Band or Guitar Hero, where they'll focus on certain elements of a song in that, and it really does kind of get you into it that way. And this is, I mean, this is the appeal of music games for me, in particular, is like, when you get into a zone on one of these things, whatever it is, whether it's this, whether it's Rock Band, Guitar Hero, anything else, you know, something like a karaoke revolution, you really do get into it, and it's like, you're in a zen. It's like, yeah, nothing's taking you out of that. Trying to see if we can get the Medley Mode thing. I'm not going to do it until we finish or get later through the game. There we go. I mean, so far we haven't had, you know, the raucous antics of before, so we're in good shape. Alright, here we go. Yeah, I'm not pressing the triangle button now, and here's what... we'll do that later. What happens when you do that, by the way, is that you enter Medley Mode. It'll play a different piece of music. There's a switch to it pretty seamlessly. And when you do that, you play through the song, get through it, and you open up the a mini-game. And if you beat that, you get another piece of music you can play in free play. We'll do all of the Medley Mode elements, but for the purpose of this, we're going to be starting going through the story mode, doing the songs fully, and then we'll come back, and then we'll do the medley elements. Yeah, it's looking way better now, so yeah, but we'll do everything in this game. We're going to cover this. This game, I think, will take about, I'm going to guess 3 total, but if you can't see it all, just to let you know. Alright, well there you go, the big crescendo. Do you get to pick the music? In the free play mode, yes. As far as the story mode, they said it. But here we go, we got Bravo, we're all set. Just to let you know, though, if you either can't see the whole stream, or if you want to watch it later, or if you're coming into this late and want to say, like, hey, I want to see where this whole game through, all the way through, because I'm guessing 3 hours on this, I'm going to think, assuming when that happens, I mean, if that's the case, it'll be on the YouTube site, because Super Old Game Saturday is a YouTube channel, and just to give a quick update on that, we're almost caught up. I actually have only 1 video to put up. Okay, that's a C, not too bad, but we did pass it. So, and we can play Slavic Dance number 7, so in the free play mode, you can go in and get that. And just to let you know, as far as the streams, I have 1 left, which is the one we did last week for Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed. That one is going to be on the YouTube site tomorrow. I just have to do the rendering on the video. I did the editing on it today. I had to do that, and then this one. Then what's going to happen is starting next week, just to give you a little bit of a programming note that way. The stream will be here at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time each week, as it's been. And then within 2 or 3 days about, everything will be up on the YouTube site. So if you missed this, you can then watch it later. Because I've had people say to me, hey, I like your show, or I've liked your show and I've turned in. I either haven't been able to do it, or watch the whole thing, or haven't been able to get there at the time. You've got that option, and I've loved some of the stuff going on, including the active chat I'm seeing on this one with, that was great. Well, thank you. And we're going to see more great elements. Actually, you know what? Just to answer your question a little bit, let me show you briefly what free play is. This is also a weird case, because you have to wait until that little thing goes on the icon. You don't actually press the D-pad to select it. Bonus games we'll see later. Replay mode is something you save to a memory card for the performances you do. I'm going to show this briefly in here. Yeah, everything you unlock in the story mode comes playable here, and even the stuff in medley mode, which they do give you shortened versions, because basically you're jumping into the Slavic Dance, or something else from the Slavic Dance number 7, and then something else, but then you can play the whole thing. I like your show, but I can't see the full time until 8 o'clock. Okay, so in that case, I appreciate you being here for the times you can, or thinking that it's interesting, and glad you can watch later. Well, I was thinking that, because people said that. It's like, hey, I want to see parts of this later. I mean, I'm on a schedule here for this, so you don't always get in the case where it's going to fit for everyone. So, I mean, feasibly, you could think there might be people in other countries. I don't know if there are people from other countries watching the show, but say there are, it's like, hey, there's a time difference, like, but maybe they want to see something of that. In that case, we're going to give that. And also, the other thing about that is that when it goes on the YouTube site, just give an idea of this, if we're going to the next stage, which we'll let Symphony take care of this and explain us about Jean-Paul Neo style at the fashion show. When I do that, when it goes on the YouTube site, I do like put in edits of things, like little comments of things I get wrong, because I get stuff wrong doing these, or I have to do edits of things. Actually, the Sonic and All-Stars Transformed video is going to be like that, because I screwed up something on that, and I explained that at the beginning of this one. But, yeah, that'll be on the YouTube site. You have incentive to watch it later, even if you see the whole thing tonight. So at least I want to give you some value that way. Alright, so we're at the fashion show with Jean-Paul Neo style, who runs it. That is Nikki Diamond, who is his lead model, who has a thing for cigarettes and angry outbursts, so I guess it is just like real life. Although, unlike when you go to the fashion shows usually, where you're running into, well, again, him getting pushed, him wondering what to do, me coming in saying, hey, I got a classical music orchestra, we're going to save your program. Yeah, unlike other cases where you have, you know, techno or dubstep, or maybe Right Said Fred if you're feeling really, you know, ritzy and classy. Well, we're going to class it up even more. We're going to give him some Saison with the finale of the Carnival of the Animals at the Troubled Fashion Show. I guess the other thing going into this, thinking about this, is like, it's the Fantasia concept. There's the Fantasia game for the 360 and Xbox One from Harmonix. And then there's the Sega Genesis one that was so bad that Roy Disney ordered every copy of it destroyed. But, yeah, maybe we can get to that if you want to see that. But, yeah, we got a lot better things going on with this one. So let's get our ending on Carnival of the Animals going with this and class up this fashion show. And another case of, like, yeah, you get that great, you know, ending of this wonderful orchestra. If you've ever heard the Carnival of the Animals, the whole thing is amazing. And to be fair, I mean, you wish they put the whole thing feasibly in this game, but at least you have this part. Like, yeah, of all the elements, itchy animals going on, you get to the end of it, and here we go. We got the big, you know, parade at the end of it, and fitting for the fashion show. There you go. Absolutely. And so, in that case, I do like the fact that they picked things that are familiar, but then they said, okay, let's think this through. Let's put this on to like a fashion show, and then also do it in the high quality with the music. Because also here's the other thing. It is MIDI chip music as far as how they do this, but they also do it so that, you know, if I missed that timing thing there to direct my orchestra to the left, it would, you know, play a sour note. So in that case, but it still sounds very high quality, and again, they're running this on PlayStation 2, so they do handle that very nicely. Here you get the piano going, it's wonderful. Although, yeah, we're ignoring the medley, we will come back to that. Actually, I'm realizing my orchestra does not have a piano player, yet. We actually will be recruiting people at some point. So, when that happens, then we'll get pianos. Like, we're gonna assume, I guess, maybe Tact has, like, a tape deck or something on the back or something, on the back of the stage. But, yeah, Neostyle and, Nikki and everybody are really happy about what we got. And again, that's what I was saying as far as, and I'm kind of glad that I failed the last level, because then I can showcase that. Because then it shows of, okay, fine, you come to this, you fail, you feel like you're totally in a bad shape, and then you come to the next stage and you totally decimate it. And when you understand the mechanics of this game, or any music game really, any really good one, it's that then you're in the zone, like, nothing's breaking you out of that. Even though I'm looking, in that way, I'm making it a challenge on myself of playing this game on the TV and communicating with the chat, but I like that challenge too. Okay, I missed that shift, and yeah, you get the sour note like that, so at least I can show that perspective off too. Here comes the big ending. There we go. Okay, and when you do have the bar over there, the tension meter up well enough, you get the bravo, and there we go. So we'll be much more regular with seeing that, as opposed to, you know, me being booed off the stage. Yeah, with that, yeah, it seems like we're able to get the audience going on the classical music. I guess maybe part of the joke also is that this is the Bravo Youth Orchestra that Tact is conducting. So the idea that we're going to be, you know, pressing them with a bunch of kids doing this. As we go on our quest to save the music hall from being turned into a parking lot. Alright, see, now, I guess just to go into this with the scoring, it is a little strict as far as how this is, because they do percentages on each of those, and you have to get a pretty high Bravo score to do it. But there you go. Would you say the gaming level is to play this? Novice, intermediate, perhaps? Okay, actually, I'm glad you mentioned that, because we're playing this on normal, and actually, we'll go back to our room, I can show this off very briefly. They give you an option here to change the difficulty to easy, but on top of that, and we saw this at the very beginning of the video, on the YouTube site, you'll see this, on the menu there's something called Kids Mode, and what that is it basically takes it so that those little circles there you're going around with, you don't have to worry about, you know, hitting the timing. And actually, in the performance mode, which we unlock later, you could feasibly do that with any piece of music. You can turn off, actually, you know what, let me go into, oh shit. You know what, we'll do that in a second. We'll be with you, Harmony, or Symphony, I should say. I don't know where I'm thinking Harmony from. But I want to go into free play briefly. I will just show this briefly. Let's pull this out. Yeah, because when you go into free play mode, you can turn on the tempo navigator, the volume controls, the direction, and the evaluation, and you change the difficulty. This is an extra mode you can unlock later. I can turn all these off, feasibly, if I want to. And basically just play it so that I'll never lose. Or I can do it on an easy where it's a little more forgiving with the hits. So as far as to answer your question, that's great. Oh, thank you. But, I mean, the other thing about that, to answer the question, it's kind of variable. So, I mean, which I guess goes to answer the question. In chat, let me know what you think. We'll go back to the story for real this time. What would you say are the hardest music games, not necessarily because they give it difficulty, because games like Guitar Hero and Rock Band and certain things give you an element of that. But then there's other ones that feasibly they'll be difficult just because of how they're designed. I guess maybe one of them I think would be Parappa the Rapper, only because of how the timing window is very specific. Especially if you're playing that on PlayStation 3. I did that when I was in college with my roommates, and we were not getting very far. Even when I got my PlayStation 3 recently, I was doing that. I was doing that even with Jammer Lemmy, which is a sequel where it has much better timing. So I guess games like that would be more difficult as far as the timing elements. But in the case of this game, they do have some options for the pressure-sensitive elements of your buttons. and then also because of how the way the design of the game is. It's not like a lag case where you have to, set up, elements. Because I'm playing this on an HDTV connected with component cables, and this surprisingly looks really good coming out of it, despite the fact this doesn't have specific support for it. Like certain games, like if you look on the PS2 box, it'll say, okay, it has progressive scan support. This doesn't have that, but it still looks really nice. But it's not a case where you're running into the elements with this where it's going to be, lagging badly, or thinking like, oh, you're going to need that. Which, for a game from this time, is pretty impressive. But anyway, what's going on is we got Adonis here, and we got to help him with his flute playing. Drum Mania is hard. Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, from Konami and Bamani, which is actually kind of where elements of Rock Band came from. But yeah, we're going to be getting some Tchaikovsky going on here with the scene from Song Lake with the Swan and his boy. But yeah, Drum Mania is one, and that's an interesting one. Also, I guess, too, that also Taiko Drum Master, which is the Namco game, which I have on the PlayStation 2. We can show certain songs of it off, particularly the stuff from the Namco games, but not much else. I mean, in that case, I guess it's going to be the question of what music game can we play for this that we're not going to get a copyright strike on. But yeah, we got this stormy element. I guess there's some sort of flashing lights going on here, but yeah, we got bad stuff going on in the castle, but with some Tchaikovsky, we might be able to bring the sun out. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. But yeah, he wants his friends back. But yeah, I guess Tact and the Bravo Youth Orchestra are pretty badass when you think about it. Yeah, we're playing our instruments in the middle of a thunderstorm. So yeah, we're definitely getting very strange to that, but definitely showing the hardcore aspect. But yeah, with the power of our music, the sun is going to come out. Never heard. Okay, definitely a case to that. So, I mean, an interesting idea. What I would say, actually, just going back to the weather thing, I'll say this just for the purpose of this. This kind of reminds me of a game that unfortunately we can't show because it's on DS, where I don't have capture equipment to pull for it, and it's licensed. Elite Beat Agents, which is a terrific game. That might be the best game on the DS. Another controversial opinion, going back on me saying Super Mario RPG, best game on Super Nintendo. But with that game, there's a level in that where you actually have to... You're helping this weather reporter. I'm going to get into this. The weather reporter... It promised her son that they're going to have a nice picnic at the end of the week when she's off of work. She goes on television. It says it's going to be a 100% chance of rain. She lies to the nation saying it's going to be sunny. And then she was like, if my son finds out, he's going to be angry. And he does get angry if you fail that. So he calls the agents in. They help her change the weather to the tune of September by Earth, Wind, and Fire. And it is amazing. Oh my god. If you've never played Elite Beat Agents on DS, I cannot recommend that one highly enough for that very reason. But for now, we are at least in a nice place with this. And I guess the intro to Swan Lake is a lot slower, as you're seeing by the tempo. I have to get into that, and in my case with this game, sometimes I get a little presumptuous with it, so I'm not always, going as slow as the game wants me to. But here we go. Yeah, I told you the music could do anything, but you also have to start. You hold the X button on that. You do a hold. And you do see that every so often, depending on the song, and that is the hard part. But yeah, see you later, Medley Mode. There you go. Yeah, I want to make sure I pick that up right. Actually, I'll say this. This was a good choice as far as, the Tchaikovsky Swan Lake thing, but I guess one they could have done, which I don't think they did. I don't think it's in this game. Oh. Okay, I just want to make... Sounds great. Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure at the end of that I was doing okay. But I was saying, another feasibly good one would be, whether it be like the, I'm trying to remember... I don't think it was Tchaikovsky either. I'll probably put an edit in the video on the YouTube site when I put it up to confirm that. The music from Peter the Wolf, which probably would have been fitting as well, but they probably think like, oh, they're ripping off of Disney too much for their variants of that. Although then again, that Peter the Wolf cartoon they did from Future Self put in the year in a comment here on the YouTube video of when that was. But yeah, it's wonderful. But with that, his bird friends came back. Okay, I'm in C. I guess we're going to be C case. It'll be good as well. Okay, thank you. Yeah, or C. I mean, or as friends of mine say, C's get degrees. But I was like, well, in this case, it's getting me through the game. G. Indeed. Absolutely. Or G as far as good, right? I just want to make sure. Because, yeah, I am paying attention to the chat as well. I'm playing, so we're all set. And I do like showing off a game like this because this is a unique game. This is not a game that... in fact, I'll say this. I don't know if I've ever seen a stream of this game ever, as far as on the Twitch side of things. Feasibly, though, I mean, somebody probably has done it, but this is a unique case, and I want to show it off, and show off a game that, as I'm recommending, I want to thank everybody in the chat for recommending me certain games, saying like, hey, I want to see this because it's not represented. This is one of those games for me to showcase that I would recommend this highly if you like this kind of music, or like games like this, and have a PlayStation 2, and it is a cheap one. It is, thank you. Well, thank you very much for that. Alright, this is not going to honestly be that, maybe this isn't going to be as long a game as I thought, but, alright, so we got through that, okay.
No, a UFO just landed. Isn't that ace reporter Antonio rushing off to the scene?
Alright, so there is Antonio, he works for BNN, as they call it, and so there's an alien invasion.
They're making such a big racket. I wonder how they'll react to your musical powers.
Yeah, we'll see how they react to my musical powers, and I guess the other thing is, I was thinking also as far as other things, as far as other pieces of music. I guess I was thinking the music from Close Encounters of the Third Kind, but I would get copyright stricken on that too, so I'm kind of glad that they didn't, go into an element like that either. In fact, I think I'm going to run into maybe a problem with that when I do Terminator for the Sega CD. I do want to do that, but for like the in-between stage things, I'm going to have to figure something with that. But I do want to show off that game because that is an incredible one. Another game with incredible music. Mostly original stuff, but they do have like the Terminator theme on that, and I'm going to have to figure what I'm doing. But yeah, the aliens are here, the police are here, the media's here, but they do have the heart of gold in them, so I guess it is like Close Encounters of the Third Kind. We really think about it. The do. Oh yeah, and just like that, they're blowing up the cars with their electrical powers. So I'm pretty sure they probably had that on their minds. But yeah, the media can't do anything, the police can't do anything. But yeah, that's what the youth orchestra is all here for. So let's do it. In fact, well, here's another element. Thinking music of movies. Okay, this isn't a movie element. Okay, it is a movie element, but it's not licensed. Play some Wagner in this, playing the Ride of the Valkyries. So, insert from Apocalypse Now, I love the smell of napalm in the morning. Smells like victory. Actually, this is not the first time we've had a reference to that on this show, because I think we did that with Sewer Shark, or Sewer Shark did that when we played that one, which is up in the YouTube site as well. Alright, so, yeah, we gotta calm the aliens down with probably one of the most bombastic pieces of classical music you can think of, or at least one, when you think bombastic elements, you think this one, the Flight from the Ride of the Valkyries. Or the Flight of the Valkyries. Let's do this. One thing about this one that's a little different, this is actually not in 4/4 tempo. This is in 3/4, and they do take that into account, so we only have the triangle here of the pitch, or the beats to hit, which I do love that they pay attention to that. There we go. Or I guess the other thing feasibly thinking of, the Ride of the Valkyries is thinking, I guess feasibly we'll get to Looney Tunes to a certain extent when I do Looney Tunes Space Race for Dreamcast. I guess feasibly I buy the Duck Dodgers game for Nintendo 64, which I do want to try and track a copy of that down. Because by Paradigm, who made Pilot Wing 64. But I guess because they used a lot of classical music there, too, for different elements. So I guess this is almost like an extension of something like that. I guess when you really think about it, this is a game that you're saying, Montague K, you're saying that this is a case of a game where you wonder, like, what's the skill set that's needed for this? What's necessarily the, target audience for this? This is an E-rated game, so it is an E for everyone game as far as the ESRB is concerned. And I guess maybe the thought of that is that, I guess, potentially getting children into either this kind of music or this kind of game, although I'll say this, I don't necessarily, and chat tell me this, yeah, kids can play this for sure. Oh shit, I'm in devil mode. Okay, I'm out of devil mode. When you play badly, you get into that devil mode and things start going haywire. But what I'm going to say is that, yeah, it is appropriate for kids. I don't know if I necessarily see a whole lot of kids, playing games like this, or what necessarily their, fandom is. I guess that's something to get into, because I've played games that are appropriate for kids on this channel before, for sure. We've talked games that way. They're definitely games that adults play that kids can play too, like games for families and things like that. But I guess I never really kind of put a whole lot of thought as far as the stream of, what is it with, games with or for children and like certain genres and their appeal of certain genres, particularly this one. Because I guess to be fair, when I was growing up, there were not many games in the music genre. It was mostly in the late 90s to start, when you had stuff like Parappa the Rapper and Busta Groove and Space Channel 5, and then the 2000s where it really exploded with stuff like Guitar Hero and Rock Band, which came after this, but even particularly with around this time, you also had Dance Dance Revolution from Konami, which was also kind of getting people going. Oh, but yeah, I gotta get out of that devil mode, otherwise they're gonna go away. And I'm gonna be in trouble if I don't get to angel mode again. Waltz of the Flowers is great, Electverse. Indeed it is, and we're gonna see, I think that is in this, I think? I don't know, I'll look back and see. Because I do have all the songs unlocked on my other file, but I think we might have to do this one again, honestly. We'll see. Yeah, they are a little strict. Yeah, indeed, yeah. That's a fun one with Dance Dance Revolution, and indeed, yes, absolutely, I would agree with that. Yeah, unfortunately, well, I guess it's worth showing off for the purposes. What happens? Well, I guess the police died, feasibly, or okay, they're not dead, they're just whatever, and I guess the news media doesn't know what to do. Alright, so I screwed up, so I'm gonna have to try again. Okay, you know what I think I'm gonna do for myself personally? Even if you get an echo, and tell me if you hear this, I've turned up the music a little bit on my end. Not much, and I think what I'll try is, for a couple of these future streams, I'm sort of close to the television I'm shooting from, sort of. Alright, well, we see in this, yeah, the explosions and everything going that we didn't see last time. Okay, that's the other benefit of failing something like this. You see the graphics handled differently, but yeah, if you hear the echo on the television, let me know, and I'll do something about that. But I think for a couple of the streams I'm doing in June, it's going to be a little bit better situation with that as far as distance of the TV, myself, and the microphone. So we'll see how that handles. But also, in some ways, like, I was kind of doing it sort of deaf, sort of. I mean, the volume was really low on my end because I didn't want that bleed over. But I also am like, well, alright, if that's the case, I don't want it to, you know, be an annoyance to all of you. Although, this does have, like, audio-canceling elements where it's only going to be listening to me, but I think because of how I have it set, it might not be doing that. I don't hear an echo. Sounds great. Okay, thank you. If you do, though, be honest with me. Don't be afraid to say to me, no, it does, and I'll fix it, because I remember I got that with, the first stream I did with this, tech, and I wasn't necessarily thinking at the time, let me, do something with it during the stream, and then later I realized, wait a minute, the sound was not great, so at least at that point, it's like, well, I've learned for next time, and especially after I screwed up with the audio for, you know, the mic I used for Sonic and All-Stars last week, or Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed, but by the way, if I hit down at the bottom like that, we're gonna be in trouble, and it's gonna keep going down until I play well. There we go. I think I have to play the rest of this pretty much perfect, but I'll see what I can do. I think we almost have it. I'll read the chat. I did see a flash there, so don't worry. I'm paying attention. I will in just a second. I just want to make sure we don't have to do this again. But yeah, Antonio is getting the scoop he wants, and we're, you know, playing a lot better, so we're not going to get everybody killed again, feasibly. Yeah, and yeah, they like this too, but there we go. Yeah, you have to get a Bravo, by the way, if you have the Devil mode going, which is perfect, you know, double circles on everything. Oh, shit. But we're in good shape, because I have that bar full, so as long as I don't screw up anymore, we'll be fine, and I will read the chat at the end of the song. Which is coming up. You just can tell that because they'll do a zoom in, or slow zoom in on tact there. Got it. There we go. Sounds clear, so no worries, and a close encounter indeed. Yeah, close encounter of me, you know, just barely getting through this. But there we go, finally. And yeah, now the aliens with the hearts in there are very happy, and, well, off we go. Or off they go. Also, I'll have to check something as well, because this game, I will say this game runs at 60 frames per second. I don't know if the way I'm recording through the component cables it shows at 60 or not. Alright, C again, D's getting a degree, C's getting a degree for sure in this. And I'm going to perform this in the free play. I will look as far as the video when I do the rendering, because I think I can also up that when I like do the editing, but I'll see about that. I mean, it's fine as far as how it is, but just to give you an idea, what I tend to do here is I want to at least give you as much of an idea of what you're seeing on the stream there as what I'm seeing on the television playing. But by doing these missions, yeah, I guess this is the other thing. You do get, you know, we have our posse, we have our music group that's helping. It's like, yeah, they're supportive now, but because of that and because of the media story...
This concert hall is my favorite place in this whole town.
But this concert hall is a really old building.
Okay, this gets us like Mario with the Italian again, huh?
Of historic buildings is a really big issue in society today. It's on the same level as solving the mysteries of space.
I'll bet our music could save this concert hall. But for that, we'll need more musical powers. I wonder if there are any other people who can play an instrument.
Now that you mention it, I think I've heard a lion playing the drums in the circus outside of town.
That would be Lionel.
Yeah, which, yeah, she works with. Or, Lunar works with.
Yes, that would be the very popular Lionel, the musical lion. But actually, he's just a guy wearing a costume. Let's just keep this to ourselves, okay? I wonder if he would help us out just a little bit. It looks like we're doing okay, right?
Yeah, so far, I guess.
Let's go.
Yeah, that is one thing I will say. I do love this game, but yeah, the voice acting is not that great. I'm not going to lie about that. But I'm not going to rage on it. It's not the worst voice acting I've ever heard. But yeah, we're going to have to... I guess we're going to have to convince Lionel to join us. Let's give him some March Militari from Franz Schubert. Next, I do love what this goes into the medley. And I said, we'll show the medley mode off, and it'll be on the YouTube site when we're done, or when that's set. But, yeah, we're back to the circus again. I'm surprised, I guess, that, you know, Lunar doesn't just go over to him and say, like, hey, Lionel, join our band, we need your help. But, yeah, we gotta convince him. Actually, in the medley mode, I will say this. The mini-game that comes off of the medley mode on this is the hardest in the game. I will say that right now. I've never beaten it. It is insanely difficult. Because I will say this also just to give an idea that they have you play Flight of the Bumblebees for that one. And you have to be pretty much perfect. And if you screw up, you have to do this song again and do the medley mode again just to get another shot at playing it. I will show that off in my completed save file when we're done with the game. Just to showcase, yeah, why, yeah, it's the pain. I think it's like one of the few things I have not unlocked in this game. There we go, we help him with his ball-rolling act, and yeah, with enough, you know, convincing, he'll be on our side, most likely. I guess that's the idea of this game. We basically want to get a posse together so that we can have our, you know, save the Symphony Hall. Because you're probably noticing with a lot of this music, we're playing instruments for it that are like, yeah, my little lowly band there does not have all the instruments that are on the soundtrack. As I said, probably the joke is Tack probably has like a tape deck of like a cassette player or something behind stage or something. But like, yeah, in order to get those actually playing, we need to get some people who know what they're doing on those instruments. Which is fair enough, because, I mean, our band right there, we have a cymbalist, we have a flautist, or no, we have a trumpet player, we have a violin player, we have a tuba player, and we have a conductor, obviously. But, yeah, we gotta get more. There we go. I do like this choice. It's funny, this is not... I'll say, I mean... And this is what I said when I first played this, was I think it was about 2003, 4. Though this game does pick a lot of famous pieces of classical music that have been, you know, made famous pop culturally or other elements. They still pick some stuff that maybe I'm not familiar with. And that's even despite the fact that I have family members who are huge into classical music in particular. So at that point, I've heard a lot of the deep cut stuff, if you want to really put it that way. Kind of like I do with some of the stuff I listen to for them. But even then, it was like, I had not been familiar. It was like, oh, this. Sometimes you'll hear it like, oh, it's, oh, that song. It was like, no, not with March Militari here. But in that case, I think this was a pretty good pick for it, and something a little off the wall. Well, not off the wall, just unexpected. I think that's the best way to put it. And they do it with, you know, Lionel the not lion, or I guess Lionel the lion, who is a man in a lion costume riding on a motorcycle. Which is definitely interesting. I haven't heard this. Okay, just to ask this, I guess, Montag UK, what is your background as far as classical music? And I guess, what's your necessary knowledge of it in particular? Because I mean, that's one I probably want to ask some family members in particular about. What do they necessarily... Because, I mean, I'm pretty sure that, like, some of my family members will know what this is, although even then, it's like, I don't ever remember hearing them play it, specifically, but that's definitely an interesting case. It's limited, okay. I mean, mine honestly comes from my family, in some ways, because I have family members who play, or have played, or have elements doing, and some of them still play to this day. So in that case, that's where I know it, but... I guess sometimes you'll feasibly, and I guess with any music or anything, even like games, for example, something's going to slip through the cracks at some point, and then you'll discover it later. Yeah, I think I probably should talk to my family about that, to see what they know about this one. Bach, Beethoven, and Tchaikovsky is my background. Yeah, which tends to be that of a lot of people, but you're right, I mean, sometimes you'll have that knowledge of very specific things with a lot of those artists. And again, my family helped me with that one. And this is a pretty long one. Here's the other thing about this game. They don't necessarily tend to cut the pieces down, which tends to be a little bit of a bone of contention with people. I remember, like, with Fantasia 2000, the sequel to Fantasia that came out in 1999, instead of not 2000, they cut the music down as opposed to the original film from the 40s, where it's like a 2-hour picture. This one was like 77 minutes. And say, like, hey, you're cutting this music down, you're not going to be able to enjoy it enough. Or even the animation to it. But yeah, this game doesn't tend to do that much. There we go, we did the hell at the time, although I did it a little too fast. But still, we did impress Lionel enough and the crowd, so feasibly he'll join us. Hopefully, we'll see. Yeah, I think all he needs to do is just look out at that crowd, see everybody cheering him, and he's like, yeah, I'll do anything for you for giving me that. Yeah, definitely that weird voice of him and the weird, you know, bouncing... I guess it's like a bouncing, elastic motorcycle, or it has, yeah, C's, that's gonna be the, theme of this stream, I guess. But, yeah, I guess it's like, almost as hydraulics or something like that. I love it. Okay. I'm glad you're enjoying. I guess let me know also if you're hearing just for this, because I have my PS2 kind of close to the mic, so you're hearing sometimes the disc grind. You'll definitely hear that when we play a Dreamcast game at some point. You hear that... And yeah, you're going to hear that. It's really loud. But that kind of becomes part of the appeal of it. Alright, so let's see what we have next. We do have Lionel in our crew, but who's next?
A concert hall? If Runa's there helping out, I'll help too. But I don't know anyone else that plays an instrument.
Listen, honey has just started to play the cello. I know her. She'll help us.
Alright, so, Hanny, the girlfriend of Darwin, yeah, I guess she's hopefully gonna not be mad at him anymore after being late at the beginning of the game, but, maybe we can convince her to help us out.
Honey will do okay. Let's invite her along. Okay, let's do it.
After all, I guess we could use a cellist, although, I'm trying to remember, I guess we'll see when we play this one, if I have a cello on it. Alright, getting more Tchaikovsky going on then, Montag UK. We got, March for the Nutcracker. But oh, great, here's the thing, because Hanny is feeling a little depressed. I think the context of this is that either she just started playing this, or she's feeling a little, you know, nervous about some of that stuff. She's not feeling happy. We gotta cheer her up. Not mad at him, at least, but, Alright, now this is definitely something very familiar, and actually, I probably should go back to classical musical elements for the games I've streamed. Actually, the treasure stuff I've done, which would be, the McDonald's Treasureland Adventure, which had, actually the music from Swan Lake in it, actually. And, one I'm gonna have to redo, Dynamite Hetty, actually had this piece of music in it for, the Mad Dog and Hetty boss battle. So actually, technically, we've seen some classical elements going on with the games we played already, but nothing specific like this, and, well, here's in a different context. Oh, actually, wait. Okay, no. I don't have a cellist. I have a stand-up bassist. I was like, I didn't think I had a cellist on my band. I think they did think out the idea that, no, I'm pulling people who have skills for other instruments than the people I already have. Or, okay, never mind. I do have a cellist, but I think the idea is I need another one. Which makes sense for an orchestra, because the idea in an orchestra is that you're going to have multiple people who are doing, you know, instruments, or same instruments to do something. But yeah, yeah, try playing. You're going to do fine. And just as long as you cheer her on and give her this nice Tchaikovsky music. Yeah, the town is bouncing, so it's like Somebody Amigo in Sonic All-Stars Transform from last week. And it seems like she's getting into it. So again, we just got to convince her. But that's the idea of feasibly, you know, unlocking that musical, you know, passion. Which in some ways I get the sense a lot of people do have. I do love the bouncing. I do too, and it does kind of get you into it of like, yeah, you're playing really well and you see the graphics going of all these things. Of being able to say like, yeah, the town's getting into it, all these things, and the very stylish element of it. Which, at the time this game came out, we had a lot of games that were doing stuff like that. Like Sound Amigo, Space Channel 5, Parappa the Rapper, and things like that as well. And we'll see some elements to that when we get to the minigames. So, yeah, that'll be coming up soon enough. There we go. I just do love when you see the red there. It's like, yes, big part, so hit that X button as hard as you can. There we go. And with that, we're all set. And that's another thing a music game does, and we're getting into this for that as far as the genre look, which is it gets you that music element of loving the music, kind of getting into it, and even doing stuff like that. And fantastic, thank you, and also fantastic in terms of you know, Hanny as well. So I was like, yeah, she's loving the attention she's getting. She's loving the fact that hey, she has it. Get the bravo indeed. Get another C, which is going to be the element of this. I don't tend to name any of the streams I go on the YouTube site anything special, like a special title. I almost think I should be putting in, like, C's get degrees on this one as far as it, until I get a B, feasibly. But we'll see. Alright. And I will look also, just looking back as far as the chat, I'll have to look as far as the Waltz of Flowers. I think it isn't on this soundtrack. Actually, you know, I do have the box of this game, just to prove I'm not lying. I just opened up the box for it. I do have the instruction manual, so in the next cutscene, I will take a look at the manual. In fact, I'm going to put the mic on mute briefly during the cutscene so I won't, you know, get the rustling going. I'll be back in just a second.
I'm so glad you were able to invite me. For music, I'd really like to introduce you to a friend of mine. She's a famous top model.
That means that would be...
That's wonderful. Supermodel Nikki Domino. She's always beautiful no matter what. But people say she has a really scary personality. It looks like she doesn't care much for Neo-Style's designs, so she's not in too good of a mood today. Let's use your musical powers to try to cheer her up. Ready? Let's go.
Okay, so that's weird. Nikki Domino is the model who does stuff and shows off the stuff of Mr. Neo-Style here, but apparently she doesn't like the stuff she's wearing. And I guess we're going to give her some Mozart here. Unfortunately, like first bad news, Waltz of the Flowers is not in this game. At least, unless the manual is missing some of the stuff. But I think the manual lists everything, and I hate to say that because, like, well, I would like to show that. What I will do is I will look, because I'm pretty sure there must be some piece of music that has it. Or actually... You know, I'll tell you this. At some point I do want to do Burnout. At some point, Paradise, they do have the, they have the classical music on there. It might be on there. Or if not, I can feasibly, actually, you know what I could do? When we do a racing game, so I'll tell you this. Like first, you were mentioning last week you wanted to see Quantum Redshift for the Xbox. That game has custom soundtrack support. I will try and find, I believe I do have the Waltz of the Flowers on something, on a CD. I'll rip it to the hard drive, and we'll play it while we're playing that game. So I think that'll work. And let me go into the custom soundtrack element of the Xbox. But yeah, here we go. We got some Mozart going on with the 40th Symphony K550, the first movement. So, okay, they're not giving us everything necessarily, but we are going to still get the full element of the first movement of this at least. Looks like it's a little slower. Actually, this is a piece of music going into... I guess this is also going to be the other thing about this game, which is spot or think of the video games you've played that pull these pieces of music. I will mention one, and I don't know if anybody in the chat knows what this is, but I will say this. When I get the PC situation working, figuring out can we stream PC and how, one of the games I'm going to show off... I don't know if you're familiar with the Super Solvers franchise from the Learning Company, which was a series of edutainment games for the PC from, like, the early 90s. There is one called Outnumbered. We have to save a television studio, Shady Glen TV station, from the Master of Mischief, who's taking it over. And, you know, have, like, the television's walking around, like, shooting you. And you have to, you know, save the place while, you know... And do it by midnight by solving math problems and things. If I can show that off or get the PC thing set up, I will show that game because the opening on the title screen has that piece of music, or this piece of music you're listening to right now, to that. Yes. Oh my god, there's actually somebody in the chat who knows what that is. I'm kind of speechless. And don't take that as a negative thing. I'm very happy to hear that because if you've never seen this show before, maybe if you have, I'll mention some out there stuff. Things that no stream on Twitch will touch either because they don't know it, or it's so weird, or it's the kind of thing that you're not going to necessarily people... You think, like, is there necessarily going to be an audience for that? But the fact that I'm seeing someone who knows what that is kind of brings a tear to my eye. I'm not going to lie, just because I'm thinking it's something weird and so out there that's so specific to me, but then the idea of you have a connection of somebody who knows what something is and thinking, well, hey, I have a memory of this, hey, I know what this is, and I think that's kind of the appeal of streams like this, or this stream I'm doing of this game, in order to emphasize that. Okay, I was just going through that to handle the Medley Mode thing. Came out in 1999. Yes, I believe it did. I think there was a later version for Windows in particular. I think it was also on the Macintosh. And actually, I have that version, which does have, like, higher quality MIDI music for it, whereas I think the first one had, like, PC speaker elements to it. So you do hear, like, the full, you know, MIDI element of this piece of music, or at least parts of it. Yeah, and it was the Master of Mischief who ran that one, and also ran... See, this is interesting also about the chat discussion, why this has been the focus of this channel, and I'm glad that, you know, people are liking seeing that, or liking being involved in it, so again, thank you very much for that. The idea of some elements of games, or talking about certain games that maybe get forgotten. Oh, I'm doing bad now. Okay, hopefully I can pull this out. Yeah, Master of Mischief was in that, and, yeah, there are a lot of those Super Solvers games. There's a couple that, actually, I know people who played some of the other ones. I mean, I was big on Outnumbered. I played, Treasure Math Storm, which I also have. I know, my girlfriend was big into Treasure Mountain, actually, which I never played that one, but I do remember, and I guess that was a big franchise for Learning Company at the time, which I don't know if they're still around anymore. But at some point, I might have to look into some of those when I get PC stuff set, because I like old stuff I want to look at PC, and even some, I guess, sort of newer stuff when I can do that. Alright, yeah, Tully was the robot who walked around, and he had the little thing there, and, like, you shoot him with the little laser, and then he says, you know, what's 8 plus 5? And you have to give him the answer. If you get enough of them, you get a clue. Yeah, I will look into stuff for the PC. I don't know if I'm gonna get through this. Yeah, I'm not getting through this piece. Because it looked like I didn't do too bad, but unfortunately, because I'm not high enough on that bar over there on the left. Yeah, I'm going to have to do this one again. But I guess that's the other benefit. Is like, yeah, I get into the zone of talking about a game from the Learning Company. Yeah, it's weird. As I said, we get in the guts of gaming on this program. And I love that, and I love the idea that the chat is interesting enough. But yeah, Nikki Domino's like, yeah, I don't want any part of you. And there you go. And it looks like the place is collapsing feasibly. So yeah, they might want to get out of there before it starts burning. Soft Key took over the Learning Company. Really? Okay, because I remember hearing the idea that the Learning Company is not around anymore, but I didn't hear what happened, or, like, I guess they were taken up by another company. So thank you very much for letting me know that, Montag UK. I appreciate that very much for pointing out what happened. And that's the other thing about the chat element of the show, which is you're guiding the show in a certain way. I might pick a game to play. You guys might say, hey, I want to see a game to play. You guys and gals, I should say. But then you're going to see something in the chat specifically either to something I'm saying or something you're thinking based on what you're seeing, or something it might be even just thinking, like, hey, I'm playing games, I'm playing this, or I know this. And it kind of creates that element. It was a hostile takeover. Really? Okay. Took over the brand. Yeah, I mean, again, it's years out from that now, but I mean, I don't know necessarily, like, what the thought of, like, potentially revivals and stuff, because it seems like everything old is new again now. Like, you get revivals of stuff you never thought would happen. Oh, that was 1995 when that happened then, huh? So, okay. Yeah, because I remember there being some late stuff from them, and I think they were still distributed through a long part of the 90s from what I remember. So, I mean, feasibly now is like, well, not as much anymore. They still have the name, though? Okay. Okay, so I guess we'll consider this stream of this game as a lot of things. It's going over love of music games, love of music, classical music, movie elements, personal pieces of music that we like, and I guess an ode to the learning company. And C's getting degrees, which is probably going to be the case on this song again. Okay, Carmen Sandiego, the rights. Yeah, that was... Okay, I know what happened sort of with that one. That was Broderbund who released that one. I guess it's going to be like a classic edutainment PC element of what's happened on the show. I know that was Broderbund who had that, and I know that I believe they were shuttered into another company, because I know Broderbund was around in the late 90s. There we go, at least got the hold there. Because I remember there were actually some very late games of Broderbunds in the 90s. There were actually a couple games, or 2 games, based on the Rugrats. One that was actually a take on Myst, interestingly enough, and it's as insanely cryptic as Myst, except for the fact they literally give you like a PDF on it saying, no, do this to beat the whole game, feasibly. So the challenge of that game is playing through that one without using that. But yeah, so I know Broderbund was around for a while, but I guess they got pulled into another company as well. Okay. Oh, Softkey. So basically, Softkey is a company that pulled out all those old edutainment companies. I guess that, Broderbund... Well, Broderbund didn't necessarily just make, you know, educational elements. They were known for Carmen Sandiego, but they're also known for, like, Choplifter, which is an interesting game. Or also a game that I have on NES on the Wii U Virtual Console, which I played with friends, which is insanely difficult. I'll have to show it. Spelunker, if you're familiar with it. I think actually Square. We talked Squaresoft before. I think they have the rights to that one now. And, yeah, it's insanely difficult. And it's one that, yeah, so it's not necessarily they were just doing edutainment stuff, but it is interesting to think that, okay, making their name on that, or I guess we're talking edutainment PC companies, or Mac companies feasibly from the 90s. How about Davidson, the team behind Math Blaster? Which, there were console ports of that. There was one on the Genesis and another one on the Super Nintendo, I think, for the first Math Blaster game, or the episode 1 one. Which you could show off that way if I can't get PC stuff running, but I think I can get PC stuff running. I mean, honestly, I think this is going to be more of an impetus of, yeah, I gotta do that, because people have been asking me, saying, like, do PC stuff. I'm like, I want to do PC stuff, but I have to figure the tech element. I think within the next couple weeks, I'm going to sit down, I'm just going to say, like, yeah, I gotta do this, I gotta find out what I'm doing with that, I have to come up with, and I think we're going to beat this song finally. Okay, Broderbund was purchased by the Learning Company. Okay, that I remember. That happening. And then, because there were some later games in that series that did that. Okay, so thank you again, Montag UK, for those elements. It is Montag UK, right? Or is it Montagu? I don't know, or Montagu K or something, I don't know. Let me know and I will emphasize. But we did get, okay, so I got it right the first time. Alright. Alright, so we got Miss Nikki Diamond, okay. Probably got another C on this. Let's just take the guess on that. Yeah. I guess the question from the UK. Okay. Oh, great. So I guess we are getting some international love on this program. Although, if that's the case, damn, it must be late. But thank you very much. Anyway, let's take a look at what's next. And hopefully I can get something other than this C, because, like, I want to do better than that, feasibly. And I'll say this. It's not a lag concern. I thought there was going to be a lag concern in this game, but there's not. So, we're set that way. Okay. Alright, so we got Nikki Diamond ready to go, but what next? And who else can we pull?
Music, eh? I don't know the details, but I think that working hard is a good thing.
Oh, really?
Okay, Is everything ready?
But we still don't have enough people.
Wait, what's that thing around Symphony there? I don't think I've ever seen that.
That's right. I do know some others.
Then again, I haven't played this through the component cables before.
Antonio is introducing them. Then it could only be the aliens? He's still trying to raise them with a TV signal. Is that okay?
Oh, we can get him back, yeah.
It's creating such a big disturbance again. Well, it looks like we're in need of your musical powers again. All set? Let's go!
Alright, so I guess we're gonna get the aliens to join our orchestra, feasibly. At least we have an option. Okay, I missed one. Reader Rabbit. Yeah, there was another one of the learning companies as well. So yeah, this is turning into a learning company discussion as well. But I love that too. These, honestly, I'll tell you this. Yeah, okay, we got some Magursky going. Oh, Magursky, I believe it is. But yeah, we do have that element. I was thinking the Reader Rabbit element of like, yeah, it's turning into an ode to that. But I love that. Like, in a sense, you guys are and gals out there, you're driving this discussion, and I love it. So thank you very much, and thank you for your viewership. All right, so we got Baba Yaga's hut from the pictures in an exhibition from Modeste Magursky. So here we go. Definitely a little faster as far as how they have the little orb set. Although, in my case, I tend to be better with the faster songs, honestly. Or just get into the rhythm of it. And also, when they don't, you know, split out those pressure buttons. Ah, there you go. Actually, I'm trying to think about... You know, I think there's something I played that has this in it. Actually, we will get more classical music stuff next month, honestly, now I'm thinking about it, when we do, when my girlfriend plays Mega Man Legends for us, because I believe there's a part in that game that does use, some classical elements to it. Yeah, we got the aliens dancing with the cops, so I was like, yeah, everything is good to them, so, like, and even the news media people, alright, so we got a nice little dance party going on to Magursky, so I was like, yeah. Don't see that in every game on the PS2 or every game in any system. It's funny. Indeed it is, just because of how strange it is. Which can sometimes be the appeal of something like this. Especially games like this, or Parappa the Rapper, or... You know, let's go back to the Fresh Games label, because I was saying that was an arm of IDOS in the early 2000s. They're making, or releasing some games in Japan are really strange, including one that's insanely expensive. I would like to get it for the purpose of showing it off, but I'm going to have to save up money particularly for it. It's called Mr. Mosquito. He plays like a cartoonish mosquito. You go around the house, you suck the blood of this Japanese family during the summer, and you have to pretty much make them go nuts. And another interesting utilization of the PlayStation 2 controller, you actually have to find where they are, like, start to suck their blood, and you do a rotation on the analog stick to suck their blood, and you do it enough so they won't notice it and slap you, and if they do slap you, it's a one-hit kill. So, yeah, that is very bizarre, especially when you get in the case of, you know, seeing, like, the daughter or something in the bathtub, and they hide just enough of some of the body elements of that. There we go. Well, we're done there. I guess, yeah, I don't think Tact wanted to even hear more of that, but at some point I do want to show off that game. Sounds weird, insanely, but that's another brilliance about gaming, and just the idea of something strange that not many other people know, but that one jumped up in price massively, to the point where you can buy every single one of the Fresh Games label items that came out for less than the price of that one game. Interestingly enough, because it's like $150, $80 is how much Mad Maestro, or not Mad Maestro, Mad Maestro's like 10. Mr. Mosquito's like that much, like $150, $80. Whereas the other ones, which were, just to go back over that, Swingers Golf on GameCube, Bogaya 2, Dual Saga on PlayStation 2, and R-Type Final, which is fitting with the last game to put out. That was, yeah, that one's a lot. Wow, indeed, although, yeah, it's still not the most expensive game on the PS2. That would be, it's either Rule of Rose by Atlas, which is like $600-$700, or it's a Kuon, which I believe is by Agitech, which I think is like $800. It's like, there's some rare stuff, and part of it is because they didn't make many copies, although Mr. Mosquito was not expensive back when it came out, or even like a couple years after it came out. It just shot up insanely, and sometimes that happens. Sometimes you get a game that is cheap for a while, and then for some reason, it just becomes scarce. I've run into that with people. I mean, I know people like run classic game shops, and they'll say the same thing, like them trying to pin down what that is. It'd be strange. This one's like $10, so this is nothing compared to that.
we'll be able to save the concert hall. But do we intend to include these people, too?
You neophyte. Yeah, we're including the aliens. Yeah, even Tact is like, yeah, what's wrong with this woman?
Sorry.
On eBay, yeah, that's how much they run. That's how you get them. But, yeah, good luck.
Wait, there's someone down by the lake. Maybe that person will help us. All right, then. Let's go and see.
Alright, feasibly. Let's see what's going on.
Out on the lake, there's a mysterious man with a fishing line. I wonder if we can use his string. There's something strange in the air.
It looks like fog to me, but we'll see what happens when we get down there.
Let's hurry up and get down there. Are you ready? Let's go.
Alright, let's see what's going on with the old man of the sea on the boat. Which, actually, I think I do remember this part. Alright, going back to Tchaikovsky again with Swan Lake. We're doing the Days of the Four Swans for this one. So I guess anytime we go down the lake, we're playing Swan Lake. Maybe a little on the nose, feasibly, but, yeah, well, it does work for the purpose of this. So let's see. Okay. Actually, that's the other good thing about when you come in here. You don't have to start it right away. You just have to hit that X button when you're set. Which is good for my case, because I get to drink some water. Pro tip, you're doing stream, and, future tip for my girlfriend when she jumps on in 2 weeks. Have water. A lot of it. Or we'll have water in her case. Alright, let's do this and see what we got. Actually, this is a fitting one, though, as far as, like, the music. Not even, like, the idea, like, okay, it's on a lake and it's Swan Lake, but just because of what happens here. Because I do remember now what the context is and who that guy on the river is. And we'll see that in a little bit. We're in angel mode, so we're all set for that. It's funny, I feel like I should be sort of quiet for this game, but at the same time realizing that, yeah, I guess I can sort of talk over it, and feasibly, based on how I did the audio on this earlier, feasibly you can still hear the music, so at least there's that. And hey, this is, the whole point of the stream is we gotta talk about gaming, so I have to have that going somehow. That's the other thing that can happen with a game like this, like, yeah, you'll sometimes just, or my element is I'll be quiet in some ways just when I'm playing myself, just because, hey, I'm getting into it. It's like, yeah, follow those button presses, but not the triangle buttons, because again, we'll do that later. There we go. Alright, so let's see what's going on with the guy on the lake. I guess because it's like a fishing guy next to the castle. I guess consider this a preview to when we play Sega Bass Fishing and go to the palace. You get that nice little anime flair of sorts. I guess anime or animation flair of, like, you know, the artwork of, hey, there's that nice fish you caught, and oh my god, we got something that's not a C! Wow! Okay, that's B. And that is a nice sight. So, you love that? Okay, glad you do like what you're seeing with that, and I guess like the game you're seeing feasibly. And discussion, I appreciate that, so thank you very much. Alright, so he got the fish, we're all set, but, who is that guy?
You're that great composer, Ettore.
Okay, so this is Itoile. He is a great composer in the town, and, he's gonna help us feasibly.
We'd like to borrow some of your musical talent.
But will he agree?
Can you play an instrument?
He's a composer, you crazy? Oh, alright. he's playing the triangle, but then again, if you're familiar with any, band that has weird instruments to it, sometimes you need that specific instrument, whether it's like a tambourine, a triangle, or if you're a Blue Oyster Cult fan, the cowbell. Or an Aerosmith fan, because Aerosmith uses it a lot. Never see it. I would never tried this game if I hadn't seen the stream. Thank you very much. I take that as a huge compliment, and I think that's what I want to do with this. Show games off that I think are worth showing off, or think are worth as far as because I've questioned this before. We've gone on this discussion with the chat multiple times, and it's worth going into it again, which is, what does it mean to be a gamer? What is it? Why do we still play games? And what is it necessarily that makes it so exciting? And sometimes, like with anything, like with classical music, movies, books, anything, sometimes you dig really deep into that and you find something interesting. And I've found that from people. There are people on this stream who've recommended me games, stuff like Tetrisphere and Top Gear and other things like that. And I went out and bought the games on the back of that and said, hey, let me take a look at these. They're really fun, and I'm going to pay back and stream some of those things for sure in the future. Don't you worry about that. So in that case, this is one of those games to me, not necessarily the best game you'll ever play, but one that is unique as far as what it's doing, and something that when you have a lot of options, like what are you going to do it? I have to go, but I'll watch the YouTube stream of it later. Okay, thank you very much, Montague K. Thank you very much for, stopping by, and have a nice night, and take care. All right, so with that, got the triangle set. Mr. Mosquito stream, yeah, I have to find a copy of that game. At some point, I will do that because it is so strange. I've seen how that game runs. I gotta check that at some point. So that's one of those. I'll just have to put down some of the money at some point. That'll be eventually. But if that's the recommendation, I'll absolutely take that. That will be another justification for it. That, and it's like, that's one of those. Yeah, you gotta see that. So at some time, all right then. Well, again, thank you very much and take care. But with Etoile.
We're finally able to hold our concert.
Wait, did she not pronounce his name right?
Chance to stop the demolition of the concert hall.
Um.
Everyone's help.
Yeah, I'll have to focus on that when we look back at the video. But
Ready? Let's go.
actually, I think this is the last level of the game, sort of. Thanks again, very informative and fun. Okay, I appreciate that because that's what I try to do with the show, and I'm glad you're finding enjoy. All right. So this is Shake It Bravos. This is the last level of the game, sort of, because we're gonna go through the Medley Mode and check some of the stuff out for that. But this is where the game ends technically because we got our posse together. We have our program. This is another thing that's very nice about this. And there is another mode they give you. They give you like the concert mode, where they give you another element of all the groups here. Actually, in fact, with this, we can actually take a look at who our other bandmates are, because Tact is me, I'm the conductor, but we have on violin, we have Mayday, not Mayday from the James Bond pictures, but Mayday. We got Lunar, we got Neo Style. On cello, we have Snyder and Hanny. We have Adonis on the flute. Okay, it's the contrabass. Contrabass. We have Beat, not Beat from Jet Set Radio, but another one. Darlin. Mikey is on tuba, or the tuba maba, if you're a Simpsons fan. On trumpet, we have Bob and Antonio. Snare drum is Lionel. Oh, right, Rita. Rita is the cymbal player. I knew there was somewhere in the game they tell you what the name of all your bandmates are before, aside from the characters you run into. Yeah, Rita's the cymbal girl. Rita is actually kind of one of my favorite characters in this game because, I guess, A, she's silent, which I only say because of the way the voice acting is, but then again, it's like, she just gets in there, she just does it, and they do the camera cuts to her, like, doing the cymbal claps, and it's amazing stuff. Etoile is on the triangle, Mary is on the timpani. On the marimba, we have Shoron Poe and Nikki Domino on piano. All right, so let's take a look at our briefing. When you're doing a concert, by the way, for this, you don't have the tension meter like we had in all the levels. And you have a couple of pieces, you do like a medley of stuff, or it's not a medley, it's like a group of songs, like a set list, pretty much. We played Guitar Hero or Rock Band, you get that. And in easy mode, it's 3, in normal, it's 4. And basically, you want to listen to the applause of the audience to make sure you're doing okay. And if we do this well, we're going to save the concert hall. And if we stop performing, the concert ends, and we can do a restart on it feasibly. But, yeah, we're good. Or, okay, let's end the briefing. And here's the program. We are going to play some of the stuff we played already, but there's other stuff we're going to unlock later. And actually, I think there is one new song there at the end. But, let's go. Now we have our nice band going here, our nice symphony orchestra. Full of the kids in my group, news reporters, man on the triangle, a lion suit guy, fashion model, and the aliens. So let's do this. Let's save this concert hall. There's our nice audience. Let's give them a nice show. Yeah, not really too much else to say right now, so I mean, that's kind of why I'm being quiet on this right now. I mean, you're seeing what's going on, but, yeah, chat, let me know if there's anything else you got on your minds or anything else you're thinking about the game you're seeing, and we'll get into it. Meantime, we're going to save this concert hall feasibly. Okay, no, we're going to save it feasibly. Oh, no, not feasibly. We're definitely saving it. Yeah, so let me know, and we'll keep going with this nice music and this underrated game. I guess that's one other thing I'll just mention right now, which is, because we don't have the tension meter element going, we don't get the medley element. And that's also what happens when you play any of the songs in the context of the concert like this. There's one thing also to note now that I'm thinking about is that the audience will not react until the end of the show. So yeah, you'll get your indication if you're doing well at the end, which I hope I'm doing okay. I'm definitely making a lot of mistakes, so I don't know. Oh shit, yeah, it's not good. Yeah, that, admittingly, the stuff in the middle of that one is not so hot. You will not fail instantly if you don't do so hot. They will judge it later, so... Yeah, I did really well on this one when we did it the first time, so maybe I can pull myself together. And that is the benefit of the concert mode element, because they do have a separate mode for this. Where if you I think they give you a set of specific set lists for this. Even if you don't do great on one song, you can redeem yourself on another one. And it will, I think, then judge you at the end of it, making sure that, yeah, you know, you're good because you had some really strong performances. Yeah, for a minute there I thought it stopped. I was like, wait a second, where'd the other indication go? By the way, if you don't press a button, that ball will go off screen and the music will just hang and nothing will happen until you press a button again. Okay, way better. By the way, I also, while I was playing that, and maybe this is also the idea of the benefit of me paying attention to that, I remember the game that uses this music, or used that music. A game I haven't streamed, one I want to stream, but I have to figure out the content elements of that. That was Catherine from Atlas, and the people who made Persona, who developed that. There's a part of that game that uses this piece of music. I want to do that, but I think I can only do the 360 version, because I believe there's visible nudity in the Switch one. But I'll look into that, and I'll see, because I love Catherine to death. Another kind of off-kilter game that makes me love video gaming so much, because only in an industry like this would you get a game like that one, or this one, or even something like Mr. Mosquito, what we mentioned. So I'd love to show that, but I have to figure out what I'm doing with the content element. Again, I think the 360 version I should be able to handle that, but I'll look into it, and I'll let you know at some point. There we go. Okay, and actually with that, I think the next piece of music we have is the unique one for the concert mode here. And with 2 out of 3 done pretty well with the audience, I think we should be good. And, to close us off, we have the Winter Overture by Gioacchino Rossini. So let's do this. I think everybody knows this, but yeah, there you go. Yeah, I was going too fast on that. That's weird, because, like, yeah, I'm used to this song being fast. But sometimes you have to try and feel the pitch, or not the pitch, the tempo out. You'll notice that weird, I guess, jittering up there on the stage. I don't know what that was about. You see, Itoyo with his triangle definitely came in handy for the William Tell Overture, that's for sure. I guess that is the beauty of the idea of this, and I guess of any music group or band or orchestra, is that even the smallest part, yeah, if you play that well, yeah, everybody knows it. Or everybody will remember you for that element. There you go, the big drum roll at the end of the song. Let's get a big finish and save this concert hall. There we go. There we go. I think with that we should be good, hopefully. I hope I didn't screw this up. But we'll see how that went. Because they will indicate. Yeah, looks like we're good. They seem like they're happy. I'm trying to remember what the element to this is, or if they're supposed to be going uproariously so. But yeah, they're clapping, they're liking. Yeah, the nice 2D cardboard cutout elements, but they still look kind of nice. It's almost like the crowds in like a sports game. But yeah, we did it. Oh, right, I forgot. They want an encore. You know what? Let's give them an encore. Let's give them some Strauss, the Radetzky March. I forgot there was an encore for this. Yeah, I also forgot how slow this song can be. Oh, right, I forgot about that. This song, it ends all the way through, and it goes into the credits. Okay. Yeah, so, a little under 2 hours, done with this game. Well, we're done with the story element of this game. So we're going to show off the Medley Mode. And you can play that entire song in its entirety in the free play mode. You do unlock that by beating this. Yeah, that is Mad Maestro for the PlayStation 2. We will go into a little more with it, but while the credits are rolling, I'll give you a little bit of a brief element on what I'm thinking on this game. I think this is a pretty good game. I mean, it has its flaws for sure. It has a sort of high learning curve when you go on the higher difficulties. The voice acting isn't that great. But outside of that, I think it's still a really interesting game. It's a unique game. You don't get a lot of music games like this. You don't really get a lot of games like this in a lot of ways. And in that way, I do really like it. And I like the chance that Desert Productions, who developed this game, took on it. I wish Sony would have taken the same, risk with it by publishing it over here. They apparently wanted nothing to do with it, but thank you, IDOS, to have them bring it over here and give it a little bit of an audience, even though it kind of got sort of lost in the shuffle, but as a cheap one for PlayStation 2 especially, because sometimes people are like, hey, I want to play a game on an old system like this. Some of the stuff I really want to play in a certain style of game becomes really expensive. Not this one. This is like $10, so in that case, I think it's totally worth that. And I would have, if I hadn't bought it for $10 myself back in 2005, for about, I probably would have paid like the 50 for this thing. It's actually a very good game that way, and unique as far as music games. And again, a music game we can stream on this show without the show being shut down by Twitch or YouTube or anybody else. But yeah, so there you go. And definitely a unique case of it, and brings out, the nice classical music element, and hopefully you're enjoying what you're seeing so far. mean, this is not going to be too much longer. What we're going to do now, after the credits, after see everybody going on here, we're going to be playing the medley mode for the stages there. And every place we saw the triangle button prompt, we're going to hit those, and we're going to hit all the mini-games up. And then after that, I think we'll be done. Oh, and Hanny and Darlin got married. Okay, fair enough. So there is some other story elements as far as what's going on in the FMV cutscene going on here. I believe this is FMV anyway. Still looks nice. I mean, it's easily something that's not necessarily pushing the PlayStation 2 that hard, but it's also something that looks appealing and clean as far as how the tech on it is. Yeah, Sony right there, because yes, Sony didn't want to publish it here, apparently. Yeah, they didn't know what they were missing. Now with that, we have Symphony. I keep wanting to call her Harmony for some reason. But yeah, Symphony going back to the concert hall. And we'll be thinking of her every time we play, or feasibly when we go back into what they call the memory mode. Yeah, Tact is getting very, mournful with that. Yeah, whenever we go to the memory mode, she'll come back, and we'll be able to, see her in place. And we're going to do that starting right now, actually. So let's get back to what's going on. This will take us back to the title screen, and then we'll go back to that. And that should take us up to about another 30, 45 minutes, I think. I think we'll show off the stuff for... Oh, right, I haven't saved the game at all. Right, I forgot about that. You know what? Let's put down the bottom. Yeah, because I did have enough room for this. We started with the save prompt showing, hey, you don't have enough room for saving. But yeah, I did for the purpose of what I'm doing. Oh, and it says 1231, by the way, because I think my PS2 is not... What? No. Okay, that's weird, the way they said that. But, my PS2, I think it defaults to, like, the default, 2000, date for it, I think. I don't think it holds that. It's like the original Xbox, in that case. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to go into save game. We're going to go into the file we just played. And we're going to do the medley mode. But also, we get another little bit of a memory or a message from Symphony. Thank you so much for saving the control. They didn't voice this one. After returning there, I really enjoyed being with you in your orchestra, though. Sure, there's things left for you to do, and with my power, I can turn back time so you can play again. So she share, apparently. Bye, Tac. Drop by from time to time, okay? Alright, yeah, so the story mode changes to memory, and you can select any level we did through that. And we'll go through each of those to unlock the medley mode, and we're going to try the mini-games. I'm not guaranteeing I beat a lot of them. Because actually, one of the parts I practiced was one of the mini-games earlier, and I was tense as hell playing it. And there's one I know I'm not going to be able to do. But we're going to give it a shot. Yeah, because they give you that little... or they give you, like, the strike through there on medley element, but it turns into a circle when you do it. Okay, so we're going to go back to the Hungarian dance number 6 in D major with first level. And when we see those triangle button prompts, I'm going to hit the triangle button, and we're going to go into another piece of music. And you'll see how that works in just a second. Alright, so we're back with Darlin and Hanny again. And the song and dance is quite literally going to be the same on this one until we get to the point where we see about... Actually, this level we didn't see it because it was not doing very well when we played it the first time. But basically, actually, that's a good thing to bring up because you have to be playing well enough. I think you either need to be in the Bravo mode or you need to have the tension meter high enough for those triangle prompts to appear. If you don't have it high enough, they won't show up. So actually, for this level, we couldn't have shown that off even if I wanted to. Yeah, I think I'm going at a pretty good clip, so I think we'll be good here. I do know where they ask for the medley element, so we should be good when we get to that. Now the flowers have grown, so we're all set. Yeah, it's after this part. I'm doing well enough, we're gonna see that. Yeah, it's right after this. By hitting triangle on that, you get into Medley Mode. So going into the Hungarian Dance number 5 in G major by Brahms. And yeah, in this case, they don't tell you how hard I need to hit the button. You play this in free play mode, it will, but for this, you have to kind of guess how loud you gotta hit the, you know, the button down, or how hard you have to hit down to hit the loudness right. It will still show other things like the star for the holds and things like that, but... Actually, one thing I think this doesn't have, I don't think it has the directional changes, so you're not gonna see the arrows on these, I don't think. By the way, those holds, because this song actually has a lot of these. The idea is you want to hold the button down to do it, and then you want to, I guess, let it go or press it again before the purple shows up on the hold. I'll show this here. And still keep in time with how the song is. It also helps to know the song in particular. I love how they stop the action on the screen for this. You have Hanny just like doing that walk forward, you hold, and then she walks forward another step, and another, and another. And then the hold there before they get back to dancing, which I do love that. And I love, you know, how the action in the background reacts based on how the song goes with, like, holds and things like that. As I bring us in with the cymbals, Rita. There we go. So we're all set, and you get a Bravo on the medley element, and you unlock the minigame. Or you unlock the ability to play the minigame. You then have to beat the minigame in order to unlock both the piece of music and the minigame to play later. And we're going to see how that works. And if it doesn't work, well, we're going to show off just one of these. And, yeah, we're just going to show the game off. If I unlock it, great. If I don't, then we won't. And I can feasibly also go back into my complete save file to show everything else off. Well, almost everything off. But yeah, we completed that. Okay, no, you unlock this song in the medley mode for that. And then when you clear that, you then get the minigame, which has another song. If you beat the minigame, you get the minigame and the song for the minigame itself.
Now, you can play the bonus game. If you clear it, you'll be able to play it anytime.
The benefit of that, though, is going to be more playing the song, which we're going to play Siskos Posta, I believe, from Herman Neck. Neck or Necke? I don't know. I'm going to ask family on that one. Or I'll put an edit on the video. But anyway, yeah, this is the Love Bucket Relay. The building over there is on fire. So we got to put it out, but we have the fountain in the middle of the town. So we're going to put that out as we have to pass the bucket to each of them. And it's a 4-4 element as far as the circles and the beats you have to hit. You have to hit each and every one of those in a bar in order to get the fire over there. If we get it high or if the fire starts burning too much, we lose. Yeah, I practiced this. I did do this today, amazingly, as far as being amazingly in the sense of I was able to do it. I thought I was going to fail it. Wish me luck. Yeah, it's a 4-beat thing, as I mentioned, and if you make a mistake, the fire burns more, and if it consumes the whole building, it's game over. Let's go. And this is a fast one. And they change those, pressure elements all the time. You have to put a lot of buckets of water on this. If you make a mistake, yeah, the guys up there in the house, instead of, getting off their asses and saying, hey, we're gonna help put out the fire, they just throw their garbage at you. Yeah, I'm doing okay now. It's hard to tell how you're doing well on this at times, or Like, it looks like, yeah, one mistake and it goes almost up to the ceiling or the roof of the building. Come on. Oh shit, what happened? My graphics went out. I'll explain that in a second. I might fail this because of that. Oh shit, alright. Yeah, that kinda wasn't my fault, I'm not gonna lie, because... Yeah, alright, so they're dead. The feed on the television went out. It doesn't look like the stream stopped, but the screen flashed as if it's showing that, you know, the input went out. I was like, what happened? That was almost as I was gonna win. But, okay, yeah, that's what happens if you fail. The place burns down. Yeah, okay. Yeah, unfortunately, that was not my fault, and, yeah, that was what that was all about. But a little bit of a behind-the-curtain thing. And I don't know what that was all about. Thankfully, the feed didn't cut. I thought the feed had cut for a second when I saw that. I was like, oh shit, it went out. But, it didn't. But unfortunately, it meant I couldn't beat that. Yeah, again, the benefit of having a live gameplay. It's like sometimes things happen that you don't expect. Like we had with Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transform crashing last week. Which, by the way, when that goes up on the YouTube site, which is going to be tomorrow, I think you're going to like the edit I put in for that crash. I'm just going to leave it at that. But we're back at the circus with Luna the Clown, so we gotta get her going, and also do well enough this time to get the Medley Mode happen, you know, not have her slam on the ground. And hope that the feed doesn't cut out, or on the screen display doesn't cut out on my end for the minigame next time. I've never seen that happen before, so that was what that was all about. And one other thing as far as the Medley Mode, when the triangle indicators come around, it's not immediate. It does happen, I think, about halfway through the song you're playing, so you do have time to kind of recover yourself if you're not doing so hot. Or if you're not at Angel Mode yet. In my case, I'm not at Angel Mode. Or is it Angel Mode or Bravo Mode? It's one of those. Yeah, we're in good shape for this. I think it's coming up. There we go. Doing that, we got some Johann Strauss II with Thunder and Lightning. Actually, he's a great one for the Human Cannonball act of Lunars here. Or the, I guess the trapeze. See, it's funny, I guess that's not a cannonball. I think there's some other area where they see that happen. Alright, I got the other thing. Yeah, this is one of the rare songs in the game that changes its tempo throughout the song. So you have 4/4 time, but you also have 3/4 time, and it switches to that randomly. Or not randomly, it switches to that on interval. I do love that attention to detail. They'll take songs that do that, and they'll put that in that way. I guess one other thing as far as the fact they don't give you, like, the pressure indications here, you usually can kind of wing it, and the game will give you credit for it, because, hey, you got to the Medley Mode, so you should be okay that way. And when you do play this in the performance mode or in free play, it will show them, so you can learn it that way feasibly. I think there is also an extra mode you can unlock as far as difficulty, which only shows this. And it does judge you more harshly for missing the pressure again. I do love this part of it, when it's that build up to this. And again, that gets you into that mood with music games too. Like, yeah, you want to hum it, you want to sing it, you want to do whatever it is with the music. And you're just totally in the zone. There's all this stuff going on in the background with the graphics, but yeah, I'm focusing on those 4 circles there and the one going around and hitting that X button in particular. Although I will say, if you play this game and you use the triangle button, yeah, when you have to do the Medley Mode, yeah, you have to either get off that if you don't want it, or just keep hitting as you play. But there we go. Once again, Lunar has her big crowd. But this time it's going to be a little different because of the minigame we're playing, which is a little easier than the last one. Some of the minigames are either easier or harder than others. We're going to cover them all. Alright, a B. Okay, so this is not going to be the C's get degrees stream of the game, but it's pretty close. I think you could skip what Harmony says. She says the same thing here of clearing the Medley Mode, so we're going to skip that. Oh yeah, we get the Toy Symphony by Leopold Mozart, not Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, but we got stuff of his, so it all fits. Okay, now this one is Lunar Magic. Lunar puts on her big circus finale, bring her friends out. It's like a magic act, pretty much. By doing that, you play the music and you do directions. This one does have direction shifts. Basically, each of those, she pulls out a different friend, but if you screw up, you'll see weird creatures come out. And if you put enough of them out, you win. We should be able to do this one, no problem. Unless the feed cuts out again on my screen. Or at least the display. I don't know what happened on that last one. Okay, yeah, there we go. We had another weird case because I hit that button. I didn't hit that right. Because I also got a Vegas Showgirl, so yeah, there is quite a diverse range at this circus for sure. Oh, looks like Tuxedo Mask, perhaps. There we go, got 30. Actually, I think how this works is, it was a little different than what I was saying. I think how this works is that you have to have enough friends on stage at the end, and if you don't have enough, you lose. Or if you have too many of the weird creatures pop up.
Was it fun? Because you cleared this, you can just choose it from the menu and play it anytime you please. Be sure to try again, okay?
Okay, so by beating that, you get the mini-game to play, and you also get the Toy Symphony you can play in the free-play mode. That's really the benefit of going through that to do it, because you want to unlock the songs and play them. And it does play them entirely. I think for the mini-games, they do cut them down. Unless it's like the one we're doing with the fire, where you have to... It's based on how long you take in order to go through that. Alright, so back to the fashion show we go, and we're going to be doing the medley here. What's happening with the game? Okay, good. Yeah, it was taking a little longer to load. I mean, that goes back to what I was saying about the fact that this was printed onto a CD and not a DVD. Sometimes with the games on CDs on PS2, they do take a little longer to load. And here's some of the disc grinding a little more, as far as the drive. I heard someone was doing like a test recording of this earlier, but I'll be curious to go back to the playback and see how it sounds. Or if it's even audible. Yeah, I think it's coming up. Oh, shit. I think I might have missed it. Well, maybe. Let's see. If I missed it, I'll restart the song. Yeah, I think I missed it. I'm gonna hit select and start over. Yeah, because if you're not doing well enough at the one point, you don't see the triangle indications. I got into that bad devil mode territory. So unfortunately I had to go through it again. Yeah, honestly, it's funny. It's like, yeah, I don't have much more going on as far as the chat discussion now. Only because, like, yeah, we finished the game feasibly, and it's like, yeah, I'm just showing off the Medley stuff. But yeah, I've been having a fun time with this game, and hopefully you're liking what you're seeing. I also have to just keep, you know, focus a little bit on that one section, which is why I haven't been talking as much in some of these things. Yeah, I think it's after this part is where it comes, and then I got that devil thing, it took me out of the Bravo mode. Yeah, it's right here. Yeah, there you go. We're going into some Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart with the Marriage of Figaro. Or in this case, I'm always thinking of the Bugs Bunny cartoon, which I think was a takeoff on that. I think it was, no, What's Opera Doc was something else. No, maybe it was. Oh, no, I'm thinking the Rabbit of Seville. That was something else. I don't think that's in this game, unfortunately. There were expansion packs. Actually, like, first to go to your point when you were saying about you wanted to see the Waltz of the Flowers, there were expansions to this, and there was a sequel in Japan for this. Maybe that had it. I'll look into that after the stream. I'll append to the YouTube video. I'll put in a comment if I find that the sequel, which was called Shake It Bravos, I think. Or no, Let's Bravo Music was the sequel. Shake It Bravos is what the Japanese name of this was. But, Let's Bravo Music was the sequel. Maybe it's in the sequel. But I'll let you know. If this was one of those expansion discs. Which it could have been, but I don't know. But that's the benefit of having a YouTube site for these now, so I can edit in stuff for them. It's just been a lot of fun to do myself. Not only just covering mistakes of mine, but also adding in some new elements of things like, let me do this. And it's cool stuff. Hopefully you're liking what you see on the YouTube site as well, if you haven't checked it out. And as I mentioned, I only have to put up Sonic and All-Stars Transformed, and then it'll be this one, and then we'll be in line for every stream, so I'll just have the one you're watching now to put up for, in the coming week after we air it. Okay, no, I was thinking, because going back to the Bugs Bunny thing, they do the joke of the Marriage of Figaro at the end of the Rabbit of Seville. That was what I was thinking of. So I guess this is interesting how the discussion has went as far as either things I'm bringing up or things Chad have been bringing up as far as the Mad Maestro game, so there you go. You never know what you're going to get on this stream, that's for sure. Alright, so we got the Marriage of Figaro going on at the fashion show. I'm trying to remember what the minigame is here. No, we can skip this. You hit start and you skip the cutscenes. Let's do that. Okay, I got an A. Okay, awesome. I don't know if I've actually ever seen one of those. So, alright, there we go. So it's not just C's getting degrees on this one. Let's see what the minigame is and what music they give us. Alright, it's this one from Mozart. Ein klein Nacht Musik. Alright, this is the dress up. Okay, I remember what this one is. We have the bikini models here, and basically what you gotta do is you gotta keep the tempo going onto this music so they get into something nice, something feasibly not as revealing. But if I make a mistake, they'll be dressed in something weird. We won't see nudity in this game. Don't worry. This is because otherwise I'd be kicked off this site. Number one, and number two, this is rated E, so don't worry. But you just gotta do this enough. Okay, so yeah, just do this enough, and then if you screw up too many times, then you lose. This actually isn't too bad, because I think the tempo stays the same on this. Okay, mostly the same. It doesn't switch up, the elements you have to hit the buttons. Oh, okay, for a minute I thought I screwed that one up. Oh, there you go. Okay, so she has the bucket on her head, the bird bra in the case of the one, and... Oh shit, I failed. Alright. Yeah, it is a little unforgiving when we get to that point. I didn't even miss that many, but yeah, there you go.
But if you try, you can clear this.
That was years ago, my friend. And I have the save file to prove that. But this is more a showcase of the minigames and of the Medley Mode itself, so... If I don't beat them all, I'm okay with that. And there's one we're not going to beat, I can guarantee that. Because I've never beaten it. It's not that one. Alright, so how many... Just to get an idea. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, so we got 7 more. And then we will call it a night. Back to the Swan Lake with the Swan and his boy. Or the Swan and the boy. Keep saying and his boy, but whatever. Again, I think it's pretty amazing that Tact and his orchestra are willing to play during the middle of a thunderstorm. Because usually, in a lot of cases, you don't want to do that, because your instruments that are expensive things, if you're a classical musical player or any kind of musical player, are going to get damaged. But yeah, Tact is like, yeah, this is nothing to us. I mean, after all, we have the power to control the weather. When you have the power to control the weather, you can control the world. Just ask any supervillain ever. Actually, I don't remember where the medley indicator is on this one. Oh yeah, you also do get some clipping polygons in places, so yeah, it's a little weird. I mean, graphically, this is not necessarily state-of-the-art for the PlayStation 2, but it has a really nice style to it that kind of makes it work. And the frame rate is nice. It's because it's 60 FPS, it's never dropping, so I'll give it that for sure. Uh-oh. I think I missed the, You know what? We're gonna hold on that because I'm gonna start over. I think I missed the, the thing because I went into the devil mode. Yeah, unfortunately, that's what happens sometimes. You do it wrong, you do get penalized a little bit. Or you get penalized a lot. You have to basically keep it going pretty consistently. Yeah, because I think you need to be in the Bravo mode in order for it to show up. Yeah, it's coming up here. Okay, never mind. I guess I didn't miss it, but I think I wasn't doing well enough. Oh, here we go. I hope you like Carmen and Bizet, because here we go. I do love this. Yeah, Rita's gonna get a lot of play on the symbol on this one. Actually, this one is, in my case, maybe because I know the opera Carmen so well, it's something that I know pretty much where all of the, you know, pressure points for this are going to be going. Though maybe that's all of the, or maybe that's my fandom of Hey Arnold talking when there's that one episode. I think they did Carmen, I believe. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, there are like a lot of Nickelodeon shows are doing stuff like that. That one, I know there was the aspect of Romeo and Juliet. But Chad, if you do want to see some of that stuff, I'll definitely get into it. I mean, we'll play the Rocko's Modern Life game at some point, because I have that for the Super Nintendo, and there's other things feasibly we could do. There we go. Oh yeah, we can skip the cutscene because we've already seen it. And let's take a look at the minigame.
You've just cleared the...
Yeah, we just skip, I keep saying harmony for some reason. There's some reference I'm thinking. Man, we got more Tchaikovsky here with the Dance of the Reed Flutes. Not quite the Waltz of the Flowers, but again, maybe it's in the sequel. I'll look into that, like, first, don't you worry. But, yeah, now with Adonis, you know, with his flute, the skill of his flute, as we saw in the story there, is that he can summon birds. So let's call him in. I think you play wrong here, by the way. You get, like, weird things coming in. But so far, I think I've been doing this perfectly. But, yeah, yeah, there's gonna be famous last words, given my luck on the Love Bucket relay. Well, that's the only one that's done it. So, I mean, hopefully that was just a lapse. Now, that's the case. I think I want to just play that again while I'm connected to this. I mean, it didn't happen when I played that one today, so I don't know what happened as far as it during the stream. Let's see, let's pick a... I have more than enough of these friends here, so I think we're gonna be good. Got a regular aviary going on in here. There we go. And I'm back. It gives more than like 1 minute, not even. But yeah, we're almost done here. We got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Let's go back to the UFOs. I think we should be, again, 3 hours. I think that's where we're going to be on this one. Alright, so back to Wagner, or give the Wagner treatment to the aliens again. Let's see what happens. And it's a little different what they're going to give you for the medley, and that's the whole idea. They give you a different song. I do love that touch of the fact that, again, they're blowing up the police cars. I think that's only if you do bad, otherwise I think they won't do that. Oh. We should be in good shape to get the medley here. By the way, if you missed that, you... Oh, shit. Okay, Night on Bear Mountain. Alright, yeah, if you... Or Night on Bald Mountain. Oh, yeah, Night on Bear Mountain. No, it is Night on Bald Mountain. Alright, I'll look back on the video as far as, like, the description there. Yeah, if you fail, by the way, I was gonna say, if you don't hit those triangle buttons right, then the song will just keep playing normally. And going back to Fantasia element, I mean, I guess we're in this Close Encounters of the Third Kind-like level, with initial music that reminds me of Apocalypse Now, with piece of music that is, you know, synonymous with Fantasia, and, well, actually, I guess also technically Saturday Night Fever, a movie I mentioned before on this stream, because there's the Night on Disco Mountain tweak. I think it was, I'll edit in the name of the artist who did it, because off the top of my head, it's escaping me. But yeah, it's like a disco version of this piece of music, and it's wonderful. Yeah, it's funny, for such a bombastic song, there are a lot of areas where they want you to hit it very softly. There we go. Yeah, so Tax still's got it. Alright, so there we go. And for the minigame here, because actually I haven't played most of the minigames for years, so I'm going to have to remind myself what they are. Alright, the Algerian Suite from March, Military March from Cezanne. Alright, the launch of the fireworks. Oh, right. Okay, I remember this one. Kind of reminds me of, if you ever played this Fantavision, which was a launch game on the PlayStation 2, you're launching fireworks, or feasibly Boom Boom Rocket. Actually, Boom Boom Rocket is feasibly another music game I could show, because actually that does have utilization, like first you were mentioning in the chat about Guitar Hero, that does have support for Guitar Hero Guitar. I think they patched that in for it. That might be an interesting one to show off. I'll have to think about that. Alright, anyway, so to impress the aliens, we're going to have to shoot off the fireworks. And yeah, you get a combo meter, right. Oh, right, they put it on specific buttons, so you're not just hitting whatever face button you want. You actually have to hit the specific button it shows on screen. They hit the button that they have on screen. So yeah, they do try to give this a lot of variety, and they do succeed that way. But yeah. But in some ways, I'm kind of glad I'm failing for some of these parts. Either failing the games or making mistakes here, because then it shows also what happens. Because in some ways, I don't know if I've actually either seen what happens or remember completely what happens. But yeah, there you go. And a unique play of a game that is very unique and is not represented often. Alright, so we're going back to the carnival again, or the circus again, with Lionel. I had to give him another shot of Schubert, and then get Medley going on. So here we are back with the March Militari, and not much more to say in particular, unless, chat, you have other things you want to add. Although it's funny because even if chat is not saying a whole lot of things, or even if they haven't been, in some cases I've actually thought about this. Sometimes, like, if there's a lot of discussion at one point, like, yeah, I can go back to that and look like, hey, wait a second, they're mentioning something. Or I might be reminded of something playing through this that they said or that I'm seeing, so it does work out. Again, most of it isn't really going to change right now until we get to the Medley Mode, but I think we only have a couple more stages left, and then we'll call it a night for Super Old Game Saturday for this week. And next week we'll have another sort of marathon element going on with Midway Arcade Treasures for, well, we're going to be pulling the PlayStation 2 out again. That's going to be nice to do that. Another case to show off like a bunch of games at once. Yeah, the medley on this, by the way, I think is when the tempo slows down. There's a specific part of the song that does that. As long as I keep my Bravo mode going on, we'll be set. And thank God we don't have lag problems. Yeah, it's coming up. There we go. Got the entry to the Gladiators by Fuick, I believe it is. Potentially looks dirty, but trust me, it's not that. This is an E-rated game, although wouldn't that be something if there's an E-rated game with the F word in it? Then again, this is a piece of music that I remember hearing actually growing up, going back to my early edutainment PC days, because I guess that's been the theme of the stream in some ways. I remember playing School Bus Fisher Price. No, okay, it was called Fisher Price School Bus Driver. It was released by GameTech, interestingly enough, for PC. Just driving around, you know, getting all the kids to the school. I think there was just like a suite of Fisher Price games that came out from them that used this song as part of their title screen music. Actually, fitting one, I guess, as, you know, Lionel over there is doing his motorcycle jumping, getting his Evel Knievel on. Actually, I guess that's an interesting case. I haven't really gotten into whole, like, stunt bike elements in this stream. Although I mentioned Downhill Domination before. I do have Excite Bike 64 for the Nintendo 64, which is a pretty good one for that. And there was actually an Evel Knievel game on the Game Boy Color. I think Vatical put it out. I don't remember if it was any good or not. Chad, if you've played that, let me know, just because I'm curious. Again, we're going deep with some of the stuff we're talking about tonight, but that's a benefit of the show, too. It seems like you guys like that, you guys and gals like it, so there you go. I definitely had a good time playing this game and every game we play, even when it's a bad game. Just the experience of playing it with all of you in the chat and showing it off to you oftentimes just makes it really interesting and very memorable, so I want to thank you again for that. Yeah, I'll mention that again when we're done with the stream, as is wont for me, but for now, I may as well do it, because we got a little bit of downtime, sorta. Oh no. Okay, I've never actually ended the medley mode in a boost state before. So I'm curious about that. What happens? Oh, you fail entirely. Okay, well, I'm glad I showed that off because I didn't remember, and yeah, Lionel's upset. Okay. You know what? The minigame that you get from this, by the way, is a pain in the ass. I'm going to save that for last. We're going to skip this for now. I'm going to come back to that. At first I was thinking, like, well, I'll show it off in my save file. Thing is, that's the only one I haven't unlocked. So, we're going to end with this one. We're going to end with that element. But in the meantime, we have 4 more to do. So, we'll take care of Hanny again, and then we'll come back to that one. But now I think it was good to show that, okay, yeah, you can fail the medley mode. It basically works the same way as the main game does. Or the main mode element. Actually, with this, I'm going to be getting a pretty good amount of play off of this game, so at least there's that. Here's one other interesting thing to go into is like, yeah, you hear, you know, Darwin saying, like, I love you. Actually, interestingly enough, I don't think they necessarily match that with, you know, the voice of him in the cutscenes, where he's like, he's talking in the Italian voice, kind of like Mario. We're getting into that with Mario RPG a few weeks ago. But yeah, they don't really emphasize that too much in like these little quotes of him there, or like when you defeat or finish with the first level, he goes, "Honey." It's like, yeah, they don't really emphasize the Italian thing, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, I think the Medley Mode is next. Yeah, right here. And perfect fit, actually, when you think about it. I mean, yeah, then she picks up the cello for the Trey Park from the Nutcracker. See, it's funny. It seems like, yeah, everything from the Nutcracker except for Waltz of the Flowers. Again, like, I'm sorry that it's not in this game, but I'll look in the sequel and we'll get an answer. Or we'll play some racing game or something that has a custom soundtrack element and get it going. Actually, I think I do have a CD that has it on that, so we can do that. There we go, okay. Alright, now the minigame here, let's see what that is. Actually, no, I think I remember what this one is. This is the, Actually, yeah, this was in the tutorial we had at the beginning of the game. Yeah, this is the duck race. Yeah, so basically you have to hit them in time to get your duck to win your wind-up duck. Actually, kind of reminds me of, what was it? Mecha Madness out of Mario Party 2. Although it doesn't destroy your hands the way the Japanese version of that game did. Yeah, Mario Party 2 in Japan. That, yeah, the Japanese version had that, the American version, Nintendo's like, yeah, no, we're not doing that anymore. I mean, they already had to recall that game to a certain extent anyway, and give people gloves to that. Which I never took advantage of, honestly, now I'm thinking about that, but, yeah, I guess my hands were, you know, built to that. I guess we'll go into that when I do a Mario Party game at some point, but I think I want some people to do that with. But yeah, I'm destroying the ducks, I just gotta keep it going. Yeah, if you miss a beat, by the way, the duck stops. There we go, we won.
Well, was it fun?
Yeah, actually, that one was pretty fun. Actually, I think this was the first... When I first played this game, I think this was the first minigame I unlocked. And it was quite a cool one. And definitely some nice variety as far as, you know, how they're going to get us to, you know, have the game element going. It's like, oh yeah, put it into like a duck race concept. Alright, so back with Nikki Diamond again. I think after her we only have two, and then I have to go back to Lionel. It's funny, I failed that Medley Mode element with Lionel. I was like, yeah, I'm more afraid of that minigame. Maybe that's why I failed it. You know, subconsciously thinking like, hey, I don't want to touch that because I'm going to lose it. But yeah, let's get to it. Okay, yeah, I never noticed that before. It's like what? Like sunlight coming down from the bottom of the, above the catwalk. What are we, like, catwalk, or doing the, fashion show over a lava pit or something? I mean, feasibly. That would be an interesting concept. Then yeah, there's like Samedi Migo when you go into, like, the, psychedelic area when you're doing really well. I think the shift's coming up, I think. Oh yeah, we got some Offenbach. Okay, awesome. With Orpheus in the Underworld. It's funny, I get the sense the song is more bombastic, but hitting hard on a lot of these notes is not doing much, or registering as that. So I guess it's a lighter song than I thought it was. There we go. I do love when they do the transitions into the medley. They do put it at a very specific place that works perfectly when it transitions into the next song that's there. I guess we're getting more not B or not C's going through the medley elements. Alright, so the mini game here. Okay, after we, got the fashion models in trouble. Now let's see what we got with the feast. Oh, yeah, I think this is... Let's see. Right. We gotta feed them. Yeah, so basically we're playing our music well so they could eat. Otherwise they'll feasibly starve to death. Oh, right, it's all guide arrows. I forgot about that. So basically you have to replicate the idea of them passing the food down. Although it's funny, they're just passing each other alcohol, and now they're passing a steak dinner. Uh-oh. It's funny, the gasps of them sound like I'm missing. It's like, yeah, hopefully I'm not. Oh. I think you need to eat enough or feed them enough food and then you win. Uh-oh. Also, I'm trying to remember when you play this song actually in, like, the concert mode, if it's all, directional things. I don't think it is. So technically you do have a different chart for it, I believe, when you're playing it for just the music purpose when you unlock it. Oh. Okay, good. Okay, so they got their food on, their drink on, and she's getting her smoke on. And we won.
Well,
Alright, so I think 2 more to go, and then we have to deal with that stuff at the circus with Lionel again, and then I think we will call it a night. So far, I think this is going pretty well. And probably the best way to showcase this game, honestly. I mean, that way, this has been an interesting one as far as this being a month of firsts. First RPG, first racing game, and now first music game. Alright, so back to Pictures of an Exhibition again. And let's go to Medley on this one. Oh, right, okay, I remember what comes on Medley on this one. And if you're thinking, oh, I've been too quiet on this one as we've been going through this, yeah, you wait. I have a lot to say when we get that one out. Oh, right, yeah, you get, in the words of Alex Delarge from Clockwork Orange, some Ludwig van. You get the Ninth Symphony, and if you're a fan of Die Hard like I am, and anybody with a, you know, with a sense of taste is, yeah, you'll know this song. The theme of Mr. John McClane, and it is wonderful. I mean, it's a wonderful thing anyway. I'm not taking away any of you people watching who are like, yeah, how dare you, you know, take away from the beauty of Ludwig van Beethoven by pulling out Clockwork Orange and Die Hard like that. Don't worry, I love it. But then they were smart enough to pull that music out, especially for Die Hard. I mean, anytime you hear this, you usually associate that with Mr. John McClane. In fact, actually, there is a game based on Die Hard. Well, there's one on NES that's insanely expensive now from Activision. Actually, one of the rarest games of Activision, essentially enough. And then there's Die Hard Vendetta on the GameCube, which is not a good game, but one thing they do is they have like a bullet time mode you unlock, and you turn it on, and it plays the chorus version of this, and I'm like, oh my god, yes, I am John McClane. In fact, there's a code you can put in to basically have that infinite. I just did that all the time, so you have that going the whole time. Like, yeah, now you're John McClane, and you are, you know, Ryan in the Sunset like, John Wayne. Well, then again, he was more of a Roy Rogers fan himself. Ah, there you go. Or in the words of Mr. John McClane, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. There you go. That's a good one. Yeah, you bet your ass I got an A on that one, for sure. Alright, what was the minigame on here, and also what music did they give? Oh, right, okay, no, that's the next one. Oh, we got Bizet again. But not Carmen. This is actually a little more obscure. Oh, right, the, evil aliens now, because those are the good aliens, but now we got the bad ones, and we gotta use our megaphone to save my camera crew. Let's see if we can do this. Oh, right, you have to hit the buttons again, so it's like the fireworks. Right, if you miss, by the way, they get abducted. Or they get hurt, and, yeah, you're gonna be in trouble. So I'm gonna try and save them. Oh, right, you have to do the charge up. I forgot about that. Right, and if you fail that part, you fail the entire thing.
Too bad.
Yeah, I forgot about that. So yeah, they do throw you a little bit of a curveball. On that last hold, you have to hold it for longer than you normally would in order to charge the beam up, in order to destroy the mothership. Yeah, it all came back to me. Alright, I got two more, two more including the Lionel deal. We're going back down to the river. And we're going to see this. And this will cover all of the songs on the soundtrack. So at least there's that. Alright, here we go. We got Grieg. You can go back to the Nickelodeon thing. Any cartoons of theirs you saw in the 90s probably were pulling from this piece of music often. And I think this is not the only 90s cartoon, element as far as this stage. When we get to the bonus game, I do remember that one. Okay, and with that one done, we have one more mini game, and then I got to go back to Lionel, and then we're gonna call it. So yeah, about 3.5 hours. We're gonna get some good play out of this game, more than I would have thought, actually. All right, so we got a B, and let's go in here and see what we've got.
You've just cleared the Medley Mode. That gets you a special present. Now, you can play the bonus game.
Alright, yeah, we're getting the Hall of the Mountain King from the Peer Gynt Suite, also by Grieg. And, yeah, any of you Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog fans are going to probably notice that they sampled this for the main theme of this. And, fitting, because we're snooping as usual, I see, through the mysterious dungeon. Yeah, you have to go through here and avoid the ghosts, and if we get caught by them, we're going to die. And feasibly get rupees as well, so the Zelda parallel kind of goes to this. Alright, the rupees give me health. Oh, and it is like an RPG because I'm getting experience. Alright, and you have to use the directional elements to turn around the corners. And by getting more of those rupees, I believe, I also get chicks to help me out as my, team members, or feasibly, chocobos. Oh, this is the hard part. I remember this. I just missed the treasure. Damn. Yeah, that was why it was hard. I remember now. Yeah, but still, that's nothing compared to the next one we're going to do. The next one is, yeah, the next one's not going to be a pleasant one. I'm going to tell you that right now. Because we have to go back to Lionel again, and this is going to be where the game's going to end, actually. So, yeah, we're coming up on the end of the game. And Jacob Bravo was just playing the concert again, and they have different options as far as, you know, the set list you have. But that's beyond the scope of tonight. Alright, so you two, Lionel, one more time, and, yeah, we're not going to end on a victory. I'm going to guarantee that, unless I get really lucky. But we'll see. Well, we're not going to end the victory on the minigame. We're going to end on victory on the medley. So let's do this one more time with Mr. Lionel. Now let's do the Entry the Gladiators right this time. I think I was doing it too fast last time. Or particularly the end it was. Got it now. Yeah, I was just being quiet there because I didn't want to screw that up another time. Yeah, we got it. Bravo. That is the last time we're going to be seeing Tact conducting tonight. And last we have this minigame, and then I think we're going to go back to the room and yeah, get used to that victory, Lionel. This is the only time we're going to see it now. We sure as hell are not going to see it in the next minigame, which is the hardest one. And one I've never beaten. Though maybe we can make history, potentially? No, I'm not making the promise. There you go, nice beat to end this off, and let's take a look at the minigame. I am dreading this one. Because they said this is a Fight of the Bumblebee by Korsakov, and yeah, you have to go through the flaming hoop trick of Lionel, jumping through the fiery hoops, and if you are even slightly off, he gets singed, and he dies really quickly, and this is an insanely fast song, if you're aware of it, which you probably are when you'll hear it. Let's see how this turns out. Alright, he has a health bar up there, that's what it is. Yeah, I'm amazed I lasted that long, honestly. This one is insanely difficult.
Too bad. But if you try, you can clear this.
No, I can't, Symphony. I've been trying that for 15 years, and I have not ever cleared it. And, yeah, I'd like to think people who played this game have never cleared that either. Alright, but, yeah, with that, I think we are done with Mad Maestro for the PlayStation 2. Yeah, this is, again, one of 5 entries in the Fresh Games label of IDOS's at the time, and I'm glad they brought it here. And there we have Mr. Tact sitting at his desk, pondering that nice cup of hot liquid of some sort. Maybe it's a cider, maybe it's a coffee, or a tea. If he's go for one of those right now, as far as this nice game, and a nice relaxing capper for it. And a capper for Super Old Game Saturday for tonight. Thank you very much for watching. I had a great time playing this game, and mixing up with all of you in the chat and going in all these different directions. And I'll be looking forward to seeing you next week at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Midway Arcade Treasures for the PlayStation 2. So we're keeping the PS2 out for another week. And then the week after that will be the first entry of, I guess, the series of streams I'm going to be doing with my girlfriend. We're going to be doing the next entry of Super Sonic Game Saturday with Sonic the Hedgehog for the Game Gear and the Genesis. And the week after that, we're doing Mega Man X3 and X4 in the same night, with me doing Mega Man X3, my girlfriend doing Mega Man X4, and the week after that, my girlfriend's doing Mega Man Legends for us, starting that off, and we'll continue that in July. And then the week after that is going to be second part of Super Mario RPG, and the week after that, actually I think the way the schedule's looking, the week after Mario RPG Part 2 is going to be Shinobi 3 for the Sega Genesis, and I think actually we're going to then return to Mega Man Legends the week after that, I believe. I think, but we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, thank you for watching. If you liked what you see, definitely go and check out the YouTube site for this, and tell people to come by. This is a nice time I have with this, and I hope you guys are enjoying. And I would suggest Maestro if you haven't played it. I think it's a good one as far as your music game fix, and one we can stream on this show, which is definitely nice. Now, I definitely want to try and figure out other music games we can do that with. But again, thank you very much for watching. I had a great time. Have a great rest of your night, great rest of your weekend, great week coming forward. I will see you next week for Midway Arcade Treasures. We're going to go through every one of the 22 games of that. I'm looking forward to it. Take care, keep being awesome, and have a great night.